General
Ochi dochi, everybody. What's up? It's late. We were supposed to do this, I think, at like 8 or 9.
We were?
It's 10:50. So
Hey, we're on time for our meeting.
you gotta
Like
talk
this?
into your mic. Okay. So guys with the mics, speak into them so my mic doesn't pick you up.
Okay.
So there's gonna be some warning, I guess we gotta give. It's late. So I think all of us are pretty tired and goofy.
Apologia Center after hours.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
Hey, talking to the mic. You guys got to pass the mic around properly if you're talking,
mic.
okay? You can't just randomly talk. Nobody's going to hear
It's gonna be
you.
like the debates yesterday. It's gonna be like the debate.
Okay, see,
job, Brandon.
see, Nick is saying talking to the mic.
What's up, Nick?
Sorry, Nick.
Okay,
We're a bunch of noobs.
this is going to be fun because this is like the group of guys that, look, this is the group of guys that I do ministry with. So so we'll start on that. The difference between doing ministry with a group of people that all you do is do ministry with versus doing ministry with a group of people that you're genuinely friends with. Right?
Hey, I like that. Jinx,
Preach it.
dude.
Preach it.
Amen, brother.
We've all been Christians for quite some time. Okay, so how long have you been a Christian? Give me the mic. Or else I'm going to take this off.
I started attending Sunday school since I started attending Sunday school at the age of 8. I repented and got baptized at 18. So, and I'm turning 40 this summer.
Dude, you're a good-looking guy for 40. I got to say. I have way more gray. But except, like, right now I don't have gray in my beard because I color it. Because I'm ashamed. No, so you've been serving in church, and you really like if there's a guy that like is the quintessential kind of servant's heart behind the scenes, doesn't want recognition that I've seen over the years, it's you, Harut.
So I'm saying Nick is quintessential.
Nick quintessential. And so yeah, you've been in a number of different churches.
Well, 2, yeah.
Yeah, but again, the conversation I guess is around like whether you just kind of see people at church and serve with people at church versus being in a church where you're friends with people. What's been your experience, I guess, at this church? You've been here for a while.
Yeah, I came to Anchor in end of 2012. So that's already almost 14 years.
Wow.
It doesn't seem like it, you know.
12.
But
12.
2012, yes, 12 years, 12. Sorry, my math was a little
It's
off.
late.
It's late.
I can't count.
We overate.
No, we didn't overeat. Not
Well,
this.
I overate, I guess. Food coma, and I usually sleep around this time. This is late for me.
It's like I'm turning 40.
I'm turning 40. Well, I usually wake up early, so I go to bed early. But my experience overall, the years has been, no matter what I serve, in whatever, I've been to 2 churches in my life, and I've always found myself doing what God has gifted me with, and that's to serve, and that's where I see myself, and that's where my God-given talents come out. It's not. I'm not boasting myself, but this is all glory to God that He's given me these gifts, whether it's serving or mostly serving.
Nice.
But we have to utilize what we naturally have, and
So-
I think that's.
Sorry, there's a comment that says you need to have a beard to be in this group. I didn't realize it.
Oh yeah, we all have beards.
I needed to have a beard in order to pastor this group.
Dave is working on his. It's coming out. It's coming in.
So Dave, you've been a Christian for a while. You've been in ministry, gone to seminary, served in youth ministry, volunteer ministry, youth ministry, pastoral ministry. Say youth ministry, you were pastoring youth. Now you're pastoring a church. And again, this is not anything against former churches you've been involved in. It seems to me that this is a bit of a different group than other ones you've been in, that you've been involved with. What has that been like?
Yeah, definitely. I think you need to be brothers with people you serve with. I think ministry is such a similar illustration to like war, right? You're in the trenches with each other, and so many times you might not be having a good day, or you might be coming in on a low season of life, or you're just going through it. And if you're not really brothers with each other, I think when you have this once a week, you only meet with brothers and you only serve with each other, and really that's where it's left at. I think that's hard to do ministry with each other. Or maybe you might say something and offend the person. That brother goes back, and the only time he interacts with you is a week later. You really don't get to see the heart of that. But, I mean, I think I talk to this guy like every day. He's my worship lead. I mean,
that's why he's so tired. Look at him.
My gray hairs are coming out.
He started all this. He started all this. He snuck into your studio, and the only reason we all ran over because he was like, "All right, everybody, come on in." No, so
I'm a reluctant streamer.
So I think it's so
that's not a bad name for a channel, YouTube channel. The Reluctant Streamer.
Uh-oh.
Where he just sits there.
Trademarking that.
Trademarks.
He sits there and doesn't say anything. He's reluctant.
That's like day 300. He just doesn't say anything. Just sit there. No, so going back to that, now seriously, it's so difficult to do ministry with anybody if you're not truly having deep friendships and being discipled by them, or just continue living life together. And I've noticed that to be more effective. And I don't know how to do ministry any which way. And thank God that's just how I've kind of just approached ministry. And I thank God that I fit into this group that way. And it was tough. It was tough serving here. Art, you mentioned the past, and I've been a part of 2 ministries and that's taken about like 20 years in my life, being in those 2 ministries. And I was really reluctant coming in here. But then I was like, I don't know how to do ministry any way else. Like, I need to be fully engaged in being a brother with you and living with you and living with you guys. And you guys coming into my home, me coming into your home, continually over and over again.
We don't randomly walk into each other's houses, by the way. Just want to put that out. Like,
I do sometimes. I'm like, hey, all right, man, I'm in a neighborhood, man. What you doing? It's like,
No, you're actually trying to buy the house next to him.
that's really true, actually.
Imagine living next door to your
I'm
pastor.
I'm trying to be a neighbor of Art, and that'd be so cool.
I can't raise my voice at my wife because my pastor will be like
Bad
texting me.
habits will change.
I just
very
heard
fast.
you. You've been a Christian for a long time.
Yes. I've been a Christian since 2006, where I repented. That was at a camp. I think camps are so important. And you're in that ministry right now, where you go to camps with kids and you teach them the word. That's how I became serious about my faith. And it's always stuck with me, man. In those moments, especially when you're young and you see people's vulnerability in ways you haven't seen before, where people become, there is an aspect of like false emotion sometimes, but there is some genuine emotion too. And people become emotional. They are separated from their normal day-to-day life. And they just get to worship God. And I think that affected me. Even being raised in a Christian home, there was a few moments, but probably one moment that I really remember surrendering to God. And
But you've been in like ministry in the sense of you've been serving in ministry. You're a very talented musician.
Yeah, I've been in both sides of ministry. I think I was in ministry when I shouldn't have been, at an age that I wasn't prepared for it, being very young. And I think, you know how people go through stuff in life and then they go like, looking back, I wouldn't change it because it made me who I am today. It's sort of like that for me too, but I probably would change it. I wish I was given more guidance, or I was at a place where there were more mature believers that would help me, assist me, teach me, guide me in order to be a more effective leader at a young age. But I served at church since 15 years old. I was leading worship for pretty medium-sized congregation, a large if you consider the Armenian community, and I served at a very young age, made a lot of mistakes, but through that God refined me. There were seasons of quiet where I feel like God didn't use me in order to mature me. And then now I'm at a place since 2020, I've been at the same church that these brothers attend. And I got to tell you, I'm sure a lot of people listening here are church-going believers. But man, if you find a congregation that truly loves each other and stands for God's word, and conversations are edifying, and the love for each other, and there's nothing like it. It's like a 70-person family, and it's beautiful. And I've been enjoying it for the last few years. And Nick, the answer to your question is no.
The question was what? What was the question?
Women in ministry.
It says, are these the same group of dudes who want to have a back and forth? They are the same group of individuals. He's lying. He's chickening out. He's chickening out, bro. But we should do that, like sitting down probably one of these days. Nick said we all know that Arthur doesn't have a front door.
Arthur has multiple front doors.
That's true. I do. Jonathan says, good evening. Just curious if you guys have heard about the Urantia book. Any thoughts if you guys have heard about it? Urantia book? What is that?
I have no idea what that is.
Nope. Yeah. The Urantia book, or the Urantia papers, or the fifth epical revelation is a spiritual, philosophical, and religious book that originated in Chicago, Illinois. That should tell you something right there, sometime between 1924 and 1955.
The text introduces the word Urantia as the name of the planet Earth and states that its intent is to present in large concept and advanced truth. The book aims to unite religion, science, and philosophy.
I have a sneaky suspicion that this is some kind of an outworking of Christian Science and would involve some of that stuff. Ultimately, I always put these sorts of thinkings and into a category of kind of New Age spirituality. I can almost guarantee. I've developed a hound's ability to smell out stinky
feet.
Stinky feet. To smell out cults, essentially.
Even the name sounds cultish.
What do you mean? How do
the Urantia?
Urantia?
I thought it had something to do with Armenians, like the Urartian kind of thing, but yeah. What's your congregation's name?
Anchor Church.
Yeah. You can. Someone drop in the YouTube channel, in the chat. Oh, you're a mod. You can do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
They can. So.
I am not a mod, but I am your pastor.
Yeah, mods can't. Mods can drop links. Other people can't. So there's a lot of anchor churches on the internet. So that's biblical. So yeah, you guys, we're just chilling, and would love to answer your questions if you guys have them. Would you rather be Armenian or Arminian?
Well, as a Calvinist, it's easy.
As a Calvinist, I'd rather.
I'll take the ethnic group.
Yeah.
Anytime.
So I'm an Armenian, so I'm good with that, bro.
No, you're not.
Double.
No, you're not.
He just I love it. I share my theological viewpoints. And
Either you're,
Dave was like, you're not.
Either you're a closet Calvinist or we're closet Armenians.
Yeah,
So it has to be one of them.
Seriously, something's up. He needs a give.
Yeah, I know the solution.
He's gonna have a live one day, but like.
Yeah, it's funny. I was talking to my wife about some of these different theological views, and I forget exactly what we were talking about, but we were talking about Molinism versus Calvinism versus Arminianism, and I explained all the views, and I tried to make Molinism like the more annoying one, and she responded by saying that actually makes a lot of sense.
Oh no!
So say that again.
No, don't say that again.
So
I was talking to my wife about some of these different theological views, and I talked about Calvinism, where she's a Calvinist like me, and we talked about Arminianism, and then I'm like, and there's also Molinism, what Arthur holds to, and I'm like, it's this and this and that, and she's like, you know what, that makes a lot of sense. I was like, don't say that next to me.
Yes, that's excellent. I didn't know you guys were hanging out. TFTIs.
Well, you ditched us, man.
It was
We
here.
could have used you here.
Yeah,
Um,
you did.
I feel like he would know what what is it called? Urartu is. Sad.
So I guess this question coming from Audio Art says it means how long you plan on doing these streams till the Lord comes. Only a couple of people. You don't want to be like another Ruslan either, though. You should speak in like complete sentences, my guy, because it makes no sense what you're saying.
Arthur says, "My guy."
We accept English on this.
No, like seriously, you wrote how long do you plan on doing the streams? That's fine. I'll answer that question. But and then it says a couple people, ...
Saad, you were in the recording studio and you left.
Okay, hold it closer, but not too close, and don't yell into it.
Who is this dolphin person? That's such an interesting name and picture. I love it. You should stream more at this time.
It's a lot.
We're meeting new people. Dolphin I guess got introduced to me. I was on a stream the other day, and I made some comments, and then I don't know if it's a man or a woman. Those are the only two categories. Started.
Speaking of women in ministry, did you guys hear about the Southern Baptist Convention voting last week on women in ministry, specifically as elders? And the vote was supposed to be, so in order to overturn women not being allowed to be elders, it would have to be a 2/3 vote, and they reached, I believe, 62%. So just
shy of it.
just shy of it. And I feel like that congregation is gonna have a rough time in the next couple of years. Or
Yeah.
that
Did they allow women to vote?
denomination.
In Israel voting?
No, I'm serious.
I think
Because that makes a difference.
I think
That'd
women would be
interesting
able
of
to
who
vote.
they asked to vote, because I would assume it would be just pastors or elders. How much closer do you want
so,
this to be?
so
up
not too close, but like that's too far because then my mic's picking you up. Yeah, just don't like try to eat it. It comes through.
there? Oh, really?
Yeah, and you guys are in my ear, so it's even like more annoying.
So don't yell.
You didn't hear about that?
I knew there was a vote. I didn't know what the voting was. Nick said since I'm a Baptist, I've been keeping an eye on it. But Nick is egalitarian. He's okay with women. He's probably the guy that was trying to like inflate the numbers and have all the women vote in the congregation.
Bringing people to the polling places.
Jerome's in the house, ladies and gentlemen.
Jerome.
What's up, man?
Boom, boom. I just did the cinematic
Jerome.
boom for Jerome. You get that, Jerome. Other
Jerome, where
people
you been
don't.
all my life, man?
Oh, Dolphin says, man, Jerome is like he's an evangelist for this YouTube channel.
So I'm
There's
talking.
so many people that have joined this YouTube channel because Jerome is infiltrating Discord servers
Good for you,
and
Jerome.
telling people you got to be on this channel. Appreciated, Jerome.
Much love.
Okay, so Jonathan says, do you guys hold a belief? Do you guys hold a belief that Jesus is present in the bread and wine, taking the Lord's
Wow.
Supper?
Is that,
Boom!
is that another name for Saad?
Son, is that your burner account,
So,
brother?
so here's the thing, Jonathan. It's
Saad.
it's phenomenal that you asked that because we
Saad spirits here in the real presence.
wow. We were actually just it's been like we had like a 3-hour meeting.
Yeah.
No, we did not.
No, it was a meeting.
We
It was-
ate pizza.
Yeah.
We
had
watched
crumbled
4th of
cookies,
July fireworks.
which
That's-
I got very scared by the way. You guys all laughed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we missed the launch.
We missed the lunch.
So we were having that discussion, and we're not actually in unity on that subject. So some people have a real presence view, and some people have a remembrance view, and we were in discussion with that. So I take a real presence view. Yeah, and some others don't. I don't want to put them on the spot, but that's your answer.
Yeah, I think we're going through it, man.
Yeah, some people are trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Nick says delegates can be male or female in Baptist circles, so it can be debated. Most didn't like the restrictive aspect of law amendment. We're getting into like church governance there. however they do it.
I'm
I really
assuming
hope.
the law amendment would be like allowing women to be elders. That would be the amendment.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope that doesn't result in some kind of a split, man. I'm tired of that
I
stuff.
mean, they've had like mini
I know.
splits in the last few years. Who was the lady? Beth Moore? Was it Beth Moore?
What?
The Southern Baptist. Nick, correct me if I'm wrong. It might be Beth
I
Moore.
don't think Beth Moore was in the Southern Baptist denomination.
I forgot her name.
What are you
Anyways,
referring
Well,
to?
it was Things Church. Rick Warren's church had a whole
Mm.
issue with that.
That was the situation, yeah.
Yeah. Isaac says advice on finding a congregation was coming to faith around 2022, then had to move across country to where I don't know anyone. I've had enough of the bedside Baptist life.
can you explain what that is? Bedside Baptist?
Yeah, I don't know what that is. So
We're learning stuff today.
here's what I would say, Isaac. I would say try to have your theology down as much as possible, and then look for churches that correspond to your theology, and then visit a number of different congregations over 2-3 months, and kind of see whether you like relationally fit in to that, because you can be theologically all on the same page and you just you don't fit in. Like I have a friend who's been trying to find a church in a different state, and he's just having a hard time because he's going to churches, there's no young people, and he's just genuinely struggling. So my response there would be, get your theology as much as you understand your theology. Say, I'm going to find the church that, so because let's just say you're like really Pentecostal, and you go to a non-Pentecostal church, you're going to be very frustrated, vice versa. So just get your theology right there. Jerome says you might want to connect the audio properly before using the sounds. Oh, I've muted it, so I've been doing the cinematic booms,
Oh,
and it's not
see
coming
that?
through.
Thank you, Jerome.
There you go.
That was for you, Jerome.
Is Jerome a mod?
Jerome is a mod. Do I have the
Jerome
wow,
is
wow,
mad.
wow?
He's the mad mod.
Here, this is
serious.
Beautiful.
that is serious.
Sounds like Nick wants to come on.
Nick was like, it would be a lot easier if you just had me on. Sorry, you live far away. But Nick's installation is going to happen soon.
What? You're getting installed?
Yeah.
Nice.
He's been, he did this like part-time thing as a pastor at the church, and then they wanted him to serve as the pastor at that church, so his installation's
senior lead?
coming up.
That's very cool.
As the
Congratulations,
senior-
brother.
As a senior in the congregation, even though he's younger than everyone at that congregation.
It's very tough. Very difficult.
I'm just guessing there, right? I'm just making stuff up for you. Okay, the law amendment would restrict the office of pastor to men. So that's the amendment. To the exclusion of women pastors who are children / associates / choir / assistant pastors. So it was a wide-ranging amendment. That doesn't seem like it's a very well thought out.
So I wonder if
Decision.
it's just taking the title pastor away, right?
Yeah, but that's weird. It's like you're functioning in that role, but we're not giving you the
So
title.
Nick, would this be like? So was this even about like women being like head pastors, or was it just about the children associate choir, all that stuff? Because I thought this was about a lead pastor position.
No, it seems it's beyond that. Okay, we'll wait for his answer there. That's Isaac said that's super helpful. Thanks, dude. Hey, more than welcome, Isaac. Anytime. Jerome says, before I forget to, I might as well say that David's sermons are rather good. I end up seeing them sometimes.
Thank you. Thanks, Jerome. Appreciate it.
All the way from England.
My man.
Huh? Jerome is in England. Maybe currently, I won't say where he's at. But he's in England. Long live the king, Jerome.
David's on.
Huh?
David, living for Christ.
Oh yeah. Big. Come on, man.
David.
That's the man right there. That's the man of unity right there. He tries to bring everyone into unity properly.
David, man, I love your worship style. I love how I watched a couple of your church videos when you sent it to me, man. I love how excited you are when you worship God and sing, and it's beautiful to see, man. You're very encouraging, brother.
Do I know this, David?
No, I don't think so. Speaking of the SBC, I don't know if you guys heard about the David Allen, not sure about the Nicene Creed, specifically on the baptism for the forgiveness of sins statement. No. Haven't heard, I can't comment on it. Okay, in a generation, David says this because David's older than us. So it's cool when you got an older guy who's hip and connected and knows what's going on with the younger
I
generation.
thought you said whose hip was connected. Listen, man, it's really late,
God, it's
bro.
late. In a generation that lives much of their life online, how do we get them to see the importance of actually being involved in a local church? What a question.
I think COVID ruined um, our face-to-face, in-person church life. I think people got so comfortable at that time, and I think a lot of churches started live streaming their services, and people got comfortable with it, man. There are people I know that have straight up told me to my face that I don't. That they're Christians, they're believers, but they don't attend the church because they watch it on Sunday mornings.
Yep.
Actually, someone has even told me they watch because they don't wake up on time. They watch it after, so not even like live,
Oh.
but they watch the video after. I think it sucks, man, to be completely like forward. I think so. So if you just make church about the service itself, like the worship or the sermon, and you're watching that, that's just part of what church is about. There's so many relational stuff. There's so much that happens on a Sunday morning, greeting people, community aspect, breaking bread together, just even seeing people's raw emotions as they
They
walk.
can't pray together.
Yeah, or even like people's raw emotions as they walk into church. I mean, how many times have you walked up to someone and be like, "Are you okay?" Like, there are opportunities where God can use you in person to speak into people's lives that you're never going to get as far as sitting behind your computer. I think it's so important to actually go to a church community. It's like what you were saying, Art, a couple hours ago, where you can be saved, but what was the word?
A lousy disciple.
Yeah, you can
Or
be
just be
saved.
so, like,
Yeah, you can
immature,
be
right?
saved and
Yeah.
be a lousy disciple. I think if you have the opportunity to 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 join a church or to be part of a local church, and you don't do that because of some weird lazy excuse you have, I think you're being a lousy disciple, in my opinion.
Yeah. You know, we actually spoke about this a little earlier because we were having a conversation about communion and it being a sacrament, and what that means. There's no way you can do that with a community of believers behind a screen. Like the Lord's table being the central point of the gathering of believers on the Lord's day, on the day we celebrate the resurrection, on the fact that we communally sit next to each other. I'm just practically, there's outworkings of like sitting next to people and seeing people face to face and talking with them. You know, it's having family that's always distant from you is not what the intention of God is. And so the question is, how do we get them to kind of come and value that, build strong relationships with people, spend time with people. We do that well. Like one of the things that I love about our church is the fact that almost every Sunday we gather together after church and we eat with each other. Not everyone is present, but that's okay. Like at least the church community knows that this is a regular aspect of our family life where it's beyond we listen to a sermon and then now we're going to go on with our Sunday. And that naturally has like a drawing power to it in my mind. How did you have something to say?
Yeah, I was gonna say that keeping yourself away from the community, it doesn't allow others to keep you accountable to certain things. And one of the more noticeable things that recently happened was Rabbi Zacharias' situation where he was not plugged into a church, and people had no idea. And
Yeah. I think that's a big danger for people who are in ministry. In beyond like their local church communities. But again, I think there's the accountability aspect, but like living life with other Christians. If we develop this kind of theological idea of what we do on this side of eternity is a reflection of what we're going to do on the other side of eternity, which is be in communion with other believers, then it makes absolutely no sense to live our lives like that, where even with the technological advancements and all that stuff of, hey, I can catch a service. And the other thing is that I think that's over prioritizing sermons as the central point of what Christians do on a Sunday, like the teaching aspect. There's a danger of that. Like the teaching is important. The preaching of the Word of God is extremely important. But when we gather on Sundays, we don't gather around the preacher. We don't gather around the preaching. We gather around each other and the Lord. If you have that mentality, then of course you want to be present with other believers. Rather than, I just listen. If it was like that, I forget church. I mean, I just sit down and listen to all the theologians I really like. And before you could even watch and listen to theologians, I just sit down and read books by other theologians. Like you wouldn't need church. But let me state this. The Bible says in the book of Hebrews, be careful not to forsake the fellowship of the brethren, as some are in the habit of doing. That was the case in the first century. And I think that's still the case for some people. And that's why there's a warning like that.
Yeah, you can't practice your growth apart from a church community. You can't. There are times there have been times where something about my faith has been challenged by speaking to another brother in person. There's been multiple conversations that have stemmed from an initial conversation that have brought edification, healing, just amazing conversations that happen. And you get to practice your love for Christ in a congregation. Someone comes in, someone has disagreements, someone is acting up, someone is, like even like mourning with a person, even like mourning with a fellow believer that's going through a tragic event. Like those things are so important. There's been so many times where I've entered church and I've been downcast and my spirit has been bad and somebody's walked up to me and encouraged me or asked me how I'm doing, and it's completely changed my mood. And the thing is, if you're not there for people, even in that relational aspect, to lift them up, to teach them, to rebuke them if necessary, then like what are you actually living out? Like, what kind of Christian life is that? So I think it's so important to definitely be part of and not just part of any congregation. Honestly, like some of these mega churches it's almost the same as watching it on a live stream. Like there's no difference. You're better off staying home. But I'm talking about a true Bible-believing, God-fearing church that teaches the word, loves each other, has conversations to edify each other, speaks into each other's lives. I was talking to a young gentleman that said, man, the reason I don't want to be part of a church community because I don't want the leadership telling me what to do. And I said, dude, I'm part of the leadership, and I love when the leadership talks to me and teaches me and rebukes me and corrects me and helps me grow. Like I don't see it as my bosses or my managers at work telling me what to do. I see it as brothers who love and care for my soul. Like I know this guy next to me cares for my soul. Because when he speaks to me on a weekly basis, the conversations don't start with, hey bro, what are you going to do at church this Sunday? The conversations start with, hey brother, how are you? How's your wife? How are the little ones doing? Can I get you anything? He actually told me a couple days ago, he's like, you want to come out to grab lunch with me? I said, I can't, man. I'm with the kids. My wife is currently at work and I'm with them. And he said something like, no problem, brother. Next week I'll just bring the food to you.
It was hilarious because one time I think we were sick and Dave was like asking stuff, and then he was like, do you guys want food? And I was like, no. And then like 15 minutes later he showed up at my door with food. And it was weird because I think we might have had COVID. and he just like knocked on the door and left the food at the front door and just took off.
You know, the first time
Like-
I had COVID, I brought groceries.
You brought groceries to me. Yeah, that's right. Yes. Like again, that goes to say like you can't get that stuff on YouTube as great as YouTube is and as great as streaming and having the ability to do that. Because look, legitimately there are people who have like chronic illnesses and are bedridden. They're in hospitals. They can't get to a church. They want to, they can't. And this sort of stuff, streaming services and all that, gives them the ability to participate somehow. I was actually when I was in I went to Vegas for a YouTube kind of thing that Think Media put together. There was a pastor and his son there, and they were saying when they stream their services, they have someone on the computer real time responding to comments that are coming in and praying for people as that's happening. And that was interesting because that made it more interactive, obviously, like someone's, caring for them. And that was very interesting. What would you guys do? We're moving on. What would you do if a member of your congregation said he or she denied the Nicene Creed? I would say then they no longer would be a member of our congregation. They're more than welcome to continue to come to our church. But I think denying the Nicene Creed would, denial of the Nicene Creed, I think, puts you outside of Orthodox Christianity. So my response, I think all the guys will be in agreement to
Yeah,
that.
totally.
Yeah. To be a member at our church, you have to accept the Nicene Creed.
I mean, I wish people were so well read that those would be their objections. Like, I wish people that had problems with our church was like, I deny the Nicene Creed, because it would make for a fun conversation. But it's usually like, do you think tattoos are a sin?
Or like,
Or baptism.
the music is too loud.
Right.
Yeah, or like, yeah.
The carpets are purple. They should be green. That we don't have carpets. It's like an outdated statement nowadays. Like, I don't know if churches have carpets like that. Or I'm sure they do, some of them. Oh, man, this guy's getting all poetic here. The very Reverend Nick Quint said, you can't grow without the sunlight from another Christian who reflects the light of the triune God.
Amen.
Man,
That's beautiful.
you can be a rapper, too. This is what Davids do. My understanding was Davids get naked and run around the streets singing praises to the Lord.
Yeah, they do that as well, I guess.
At least one. At least one.
You know, back to that church community thing real quick. I was seriously having this discussion with my wife a couple months ago, and I said, you know what makes me so comfortable with the community that I'm currently part of?
By the way, your wife is a part of our community as well.
Yeah.
Like, just-
She's not some random, like, whatever. I said that I know if I die, like literally physically die, there would be an incredible amount of people that would support you and my kids. And I can't say that for any other congregation or group that I've ever been a part of. I've been part of other churches. I've been part of, work situations where I've been working with people for years and years. I don't know if I can ever say that. Like, I trust these people with my life, and or with my family's life. And it's I know it's a weird thing, but it's some things you reflect on as you grow up and as you live life, and you wonder what happens. Especially with me, I had a really bad battle with COVID. I was actually hospitalized for about a week and a half, and those were the thoughts that were going through my head. And I was like, you know what? In the worst case scenario, I know that whatever happens to me, I have a community that loves me and my family, and that's so encouraging. And I definitely couldn't get that on an online stream. Maybe ChatGPT would be there for my family.
to answer
OpenAI.
what? To answer questions?
To support them
That's
if I
right.
was ever gone.
Can feed them.
If I was.
David, I don't know which. There's another David in here, man. These Davids are filling in. David Swenson, China.
Beautiful.
Can you say that the way?
China.
China.
And you have Joe Biden just staring out into space. Bunch of malarkey there.
Malarkey.
David Swenson.
Jerome says so many biblical and biblical adjacent analogies are plant based. Is that a coincidence? I don't think it's a coincidence. You know, there's something about organic growth that just reflects the reality of human existence.
Oh, my wife is on.
Oh, look at that. Oh,
Hello, wife. Change your last name. Oh,
Look
bro.
at that.
Change your last name.
Oh, man, look at that. She's not submitting to your authority. Eddie, what's up, bro? He says, why does the dome of the Kaaba look like a silver toilet? So my response to that would be they probably didn't have toilets that look like the toilets they look like today. So
The Kaaba has a dome?
wait, the Kaaba is a cube. I think you're thinking about something else. I want to talk about this thing that Jerome brought up. I don't want to gloss over it.
Do you think Art also, in referring to Jerome's?
I'm gonna clip this on his beard.
No, oh, that would hurt so bad.
You're naturally a very soft-spoken individual.
And I'm really tired.
Yeah, and you're tired. Just
I'm naturally a very soft-spoken person, except for Sunday mornings when I'm preaching.
you're so soft. You don't yell that much.
I don't. No, talking about what Jerome's talking about with biblical adjacent to analogies to plant-based. I think that's primarily because it's such a agrarian society, right? As Jesus gives these parables as well, and everything kind of just talking about all this agriculture as well. So that makes a lot of sense. Like I know people up north from us, we're in Southern California, right? So they don't need to have up north. They don't need to have many, explanation when it comes to like shepherds and sheeps and planting
Sure.
and reaping and sowing. They do that all the time because a lot of people up north are farmers, the friends that we have. So I'm like, but down in Southern California, I mean, we have no clue.
Yeah, you gotta like tell
we
people what a
consume.
cucumber is.
Yeah.
Hey,
It's so weird, man.
Just
He's-
want to hang on.
yeah.
Your wife is using your money to
that.
give us super chats.
She's using
Unbelievable.
So
Tisabi's
props.
money.
Unbelievable.
Or she's using Tisabi's money.
I hope that's coming out of your personal credit
Yeah,
card.
I think so. That's a lot of money.
and
mustache?
not our
What does that
joint
mean?
bank account.
That's a lot of money, but I have no idea what it means to say a purple mustache.
What's a lot of money? 99 cents?
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
What?
99 pennies.
I'm
Okay,
not-
the sarcasm just went over. It's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
It's okay.
Sorry, it's really late. Don't be sarcastic.
I don't know what the purple's. Oh, the corner of the Kaaba.
Yeah,
not,
I know what he's
not,
talking
yeah,
about.
the little
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Question from Nick Quint. How can egalitarians and complementarians work together in the service of the kingdom? Most of the time, I have to justify my views before I'm let into the convo as a
Conservative.
conservative dude. Man, I had like a sarcastic remark on that, but I'll take it seriously. I won't make it sucks.
I think practically it's difficult. Even putting like biblical text aside. Like I was thinking, Nick, I was like, imagine we have men's or not men's, we have leadership gatherings or leadership retreats, and we talked about even going to another city for a couple nights and meeting together. Like practically, I don't even understand how that works. Like, am I supposed to take potentially someone else's wife on a trip with 6 guys to, I don't know, Texas? And so we can decide, we could discuss like church stuff. Even practically, it's difficult for me to accept. Does the woman who's in leadership also have to be the wife of one of the husbands in leadership? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me, even in that way. How do you do that stuff? Do you have to change the way you do church? Like maybe not go on a retreat or exclude the woman if you go on that kind of leadership hangout? It just the reason I don't hold to egalitarianism is mainly based on biblical texts that I hold or I interpret in a certain way. But I think even practically, those interpretations make a lot of sense for me because I think, the biblical writers would have these things in mind also as they wrote these texts. Where I think it would never make sense practically, unless you had all women leaders, and then we were just out, and then maybe it would make sense. I don't know what you think about that practical aspect of it.
Yeah, maybe his question's a bit different. I think he's talking about people who hold to different views. Look,
Oh, okay,
look,
okay.
I work for my job with Young Life. I work with people that are very different theological views, and I'm okay with that. There's people that are doing work that are like pastors that are women, and we're not working together in the sense of like in the same area and all that stuff, but like it's just diverse view wise. I think you can do all of that stuff in maybe parachurch ministries, in ministries where folks come together for purposes of service to the country, service to their community and all that stuff. I think that stuff's possible. And maybe we should strive to do that stuff more. And again, we're talking about conservative egalitarians. I'm talking about like progressive kind of. I think that's what Nick has in mind.
What would be a conservative egalitarian in Nick's?
Well, like yeah. So what he's saying is that he doesn't mean like theologically liberal.
Yeah, but even in egalitarianism, is that like? Would you consider someone that holds to women deacons egalitarian?
That's a good question.
Or would it be?
No, I think egalitarian there would be like all leadership, not just deacons
Got
or
it.
deaconesses.
Yeah, because I thought Nick, that's what you meant by conservative versus non-conservative, or a conservative would be like we are cool with women deacons but not elders or pastors, where the other way would be vice versa. Yeah, I don't know, Art. I don't know if I fully agree. Like I don't see a situation in our church where I know you said like. In a different setting, but as far as a local church, I don't know if it's possible unless the person who holds to those egalitarian views submits to the overarching view of the church, which is they say something like, I hold to this egalitarianism, but I love my church community, I accept its bylaws, I accept what the church believes, and because I want to grow in this community, I won't make that secondary issue a primary issue.
Yeah, like you submit your personal held doctrines to the doctrines.
Yeah, but I mean, if
like on a
someone
practical
didn't,
basis.
and they were constantly arguing with our leadership, I wouldn't be able to work with a person like that. That would be very difficult. As far as like inner church minglings and doing ministry, I would personally refrain from it because I think. In my personal view, by doing that, you give room. You give room for that to become a non-issue, and then eventually there's a 62% vote in the Southern Baptist Convention to accept women in leadership positions. So I would personally stay away from that, but I could understand any of my brothers not having that strong of a view on that issue, and it doesn't bother me that much.
Just the props there, so you don't yell. By the way, I enjoy David's sermons partially because he is soft-spoken, relatively.
Jerome, when you get back,
I tend to people like that.
Jerome, when you get to the U.S., man, I'd love to take you out to breakfast or lunch or dinner. That'd be awesome.
He just likes eating with people.
And a Lakers game.
Ooh,
wow!
That was a lot
You
of
guys
fun.
are making big promises.
For
here.
these soccer
Who's
guys.
paying this
we went
stuff?
to a Lakers
Football
game. That was
guys.
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
We got to get Jerome out here.
Bronny James, people. Bronny James.
Man, Eddie, you keep asking Muslim questions. Now I don't think we want to talk about that stuff. You're soft-spoken, but not sleep-inducing, which is really good. He's falling asleep right now.
Yeah, I am.
This is a good question. I like this. If you weren't Protestant, would you rather be Orthodox or Catholic? Go.
Orthodox.
Go. Just don't think about it too much. Just say it.
Yeah, Orthodox.
Greek Orthodox.
Greek Orthodox.
Oh.
Me too.
Is it?
It's more manly to me.
Wasu.
I think it's Yasu.
Yasu, sure. I agree.
David's gonna fall asleep.
Man.
Hey, it's gonna be like we're gonna be talking, and then he's just gonna be like,
Like Thomas Vina?
no names.
Name dropping.
Based Tom, right there. You're based, bro.
Thank you, brother.
Oh,
What does that mean?
Based? That's
on
like
point,
that's a term that younger people are using nowadays.
I was just about to say, is that the young people nowadays, or
Get off my porch.
Those young people.
How would have that looked in the debate from yesterday? If like the question was like President Trump, the younger generation thinks you're based. What do you
Like-
think about this?
Well, I think based is huge.
I'm huge with the young generation. I I am the most favorite president in the history of the life of the younger generation of our country. And then Biden would have been like,
Dog face pony soldier.
No. How was that? Doc face pony warrior soldier.
Biden would just talk about.
"You're
like,
a
man,
loser. You're a loser. My son's not a loser. You're a loser."
Malarkey.
Malarkey.
Isn't it interesting that
Hey, let me just say something. I was thinking about this today because I watched a bunch of reviews from yesterday's debate. I saw a lot of people, Democrats specifically, who were like crying and like genuinely
in agony?
like just sad over the condition of Biden, that Republicans have been saying this guy is bad. Like his health is really bad. And for some reason they didn't believe it till they saw it, which I don't know where they have been the last, 4 years. Yesterday I was sitting there with two other guys watching it, and we were genuinely sad. And I think the comments were like, "Man, poor guy. He's just like an older guy that you feel." And then a bunch of Republicans I saw saying, "Hey, we were sad about like just seeing this poor guy like up there. You know, he doesn't know what he's doing and stuff like that." I think the country is in like mourning.
As Donald Trump says, Biden is so bad he falls upwards on a stair, not even down. he falls while going upstairs. That's how bad it is.
Oh, wow.
Honestly, you know what, Art? I don't hold to that at all either. I think that's just an excuse to make him seem more like a senile man we should feel bad for. Personally, I know this is not a political channel, so you can stop me if you want. But I think he's dangerous, and I think if you just boil it down to he's old and he's actually a good-hearted old man, that I don't think that's the case.
Yeah,
I
but
think
I wasn't talking about him being good-hearted or his intentions and stuff like that. So
but
here's.
I think even in this senile state, he's a dangerous man.
So let me put it this way: like, suppose like your own grandfather or your friend's grandfather or something who was just like a mean dude. Let's just. I'm not making a one-to-one kind of correlation here. Who was just mean? Like you always went to your friend's house and this guy was just mean to you, and then you see him over the years get older and weaker, and he gets dementia and he's not like recognizing things and this and that. You genuinely feel bad for him. You go, yeah, this guy was mean to me. Right, like I can get you saying like he's dangerous, his ideas and all this stuff. I'm completely fine with that. But like on a very base human level, seeing someone kind of deteriorate like that is just sad.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? Bella and Narek Jerome said, "Is it worth me watching the debate? Your answer doesn't matter. I won't watch it anyway." Yeah, you can watch it on like 8 times the speed. You won't miss anything.
If you don't watch that, I'm not gonna watch Harry and Meghan's show anymore.
What?
There's a show.
There's a show called Harry and Meghan?
I think so.
Oh,
I've never watched it though. Jerome.
Trump won the debate. Trump won the debate hands down. I don't think there was another person there debating him. Is my thing. I'm serious. You can't string a couple of sentences together properly. It's very problematic.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I think it's like the first time in history where we have an aging population that is rooting for the Democrat, which traditionally the aging population is, would go with the Republican, and now we have
like Democrats have younger candidates.
Generally,
yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, they're both really old.
Yeah, I mean, they're only 3 years apart.
Yeah, but one actually is functioning.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's so.
You can't
yeah.
walk off the stage without any assistance.
Yeah.
I mean, what's scary is even in that stage when they were asked, when the moderator asked a question and said, President Biden, would you consider people who vote for Trump a threat to democracy or supporting a threat to democracy? He said if they know enough about what he's done, yes. Like, I can't feel. I understand you saying like the senile, someone's getting old, but I just find it hard to feel bad for an old man who's willing to say that people who support the other candidate being over 50 something percent of the vote now are a threat to democracy. That kind of language is scary for me. I think he's a threat to democracy. And I think it was evident yesterday, both in his weakness with foreign policy and all that kind of stuff, and just imagine like Trump said yesterday. Imagine you're Putin or any of these other guys, and you're looking at this guy's the command. Keep this in mind. If there's like a threat right now to the United States or something like that, he's gonna be in that like military room trying to give commands. Like imagine the kind of stuff he'll be saying. Like, send him.
What? Bomb China?
There's no way.
Yeah, I think
I feel bad for us.
Let me put it this way. And this is just me trusting the American system. I think if something like that does happen, the cabinet will force him to step down, because they will see how serious the situation is and say, "There's no way. There's no way this guy could lead us and guide us." I'm just like, whenever they have these like foreign leaders get together, like recently I think he was in France or something, I was trying to picture what those meetings would have been like with Biden there. And I feel like I just picture Macron like just holding his hand and just like guiding him everywhere, and this is like taking your grandpa's place, right? Like, well, you've met him 8 times. Let me introduce my wife to you again, because you forgot. That's how bad it looked. Again,
She's their age.
yeah. Oh, wow, that was cold, bro. That was. This is serious. He doesn't say much, man, but he is ruthless when he says stuff. Why don't women wear or have to wear head coverings today in our churches? I am the head cover. No. Look, I think generally it's understood that that's such a contextual passage. That passage is so kind of culturally contextual. That's why. I mean, I'm not getting into the details as to why, and there's different reasons. And so almost everybody will be in agreement that Paul has something else in mind other than this idea of like women just cover your heads. Something else going on there. We did come across a situation in Armenia where we walked into an apostolic church, and my wife and I just walked in, and then they were giving head coverings out, and then the priest like got upset with my wife because she just walked through with the head covering, and then she looked at me and I was like, "Cover your head, woman." Listen to the priest.
Did she?
Yeah, she did. That's not the way I said it, by the way. My wife's watching this. I love you.
Is she?
No, probably not. She's. I don't think she's ever watched like a full stream I've ever done or a full video I've ever done. She just doesn't know what I.
She gets you live every day.
Like I'll be in here like editing, recording, doing streams, and she thinks I'm in here like sleeping.
Yeah.
She does.
Like, what are you doing?
She tells me that all the time. She's like, "What does he do back there?" I'm like, "He's working."
Yeah. I just bought a new bike and my wife wasn't interested at all. I ordered gadgets on Amazon. I put side view mirrors, a really cool horn.
You're like, "Look, baby." She's like, oh,
and I'm like, and then I finally snapped yesterday. If she's still watching, we were sitting outside, and I was like, "Babe, you haven't even like come over and acknowledged the gadgets on my bicycle."
that hurt you?
And she probably was like, "Yeah, I think they're
I was like,
useless."
this took a lot of research on Amazon between 7 products that look the same but have like 507
Did
reviews.
you want her to join in on your fun and excitement?
Yeah, I'm like, come enjoy my bike.
Let me say something on a more serious note. I actually like the fact that my wife is really not interested in
Me.
Ladies and gentlemen,
And so
This is normally the way things happen. Like this is just our conversations. You're getting to like it's a window into our lives. Like right here, that's a window into our lives.
our wives are so like, whatever
Ruthless.
you're doing, leave me alone.
Ruthless.
And it better not get you in trouble, and it better not cost a lot of money, right?
Here's what I would say is like I can be with my wife and not think about online stuff. And that's why I like that. Like it's kind of like a refuge away from all the activity that happens on the internet and the people. Like she doesn't care that I got 4 comments telling me I'm an idiot, or 4 other comments that told me I'm like the greatest thing on the planet, because it doesn't matter to her, right? She knows me for the knucklehead that I am, and that's good enough, and she still loves me in the midst of that. Even though I should say, when she was on and we did that stream together, I've had many people ask for that and say, like, there's something about like Christians, couples who are genuine and real in their marriage, and kind of share what that looks like. Not like, hey, we're the perfect couple that you can't really live up to, but also we're not like the worst, right? It's just like people trying to figure things out and raise children and live life, that I think that the younger generation specifically really is desperate about. Are you guys seeing any questions here that
Well, JR, Jerome said you got farmed on your own channel.
What does that mean? Is that what the cool people are talking about again?
That's a little past my expertise. I think farm means like dissed or something. Like
like that could be like used against you
Yeah, you
or
got
put
owned on
down.
your
Yeah.
own.
So what the meaning is of these words, is it at all like farm to like a farm, like reaping what you said? No, it's just farm. Just someone came up with a word and they attached their own definition to it. Seems like
I don't know, man. I'm not a big expert on the philosophy of language. Someone asked me earlier today. I don't know. But yeah, they're usually connected. Like I think usually the connections are like when you farm, it's large territory of
Yeah.
gathering and stuff. And you just
Look
got
it
like
up on Urban Dictionary.
you got pwned.
Who?
Owned,
owned.
but like pwned. Like it's like beyond owned. That's okay.
Is that a real
I
term?
think it just
Yeah,
made
you
that
got
one up.
Actually, that's a new one too now. You know that? Like actually is.
I've heard this.
I say
yeah.
actually all the time.
No,
What
but
does that
like
mean?
it's like a term they use now. Actually. Like
Guys,
if you-
I'm
if
gonna
you-
start saying
no, no.
stuff.
If you
and
give
I'm gonna
someone
mean like the 1990
no, if
version.
you give someone a gift and you go like, "This is for you," they go, "Actually."
And what does that mean?
Like for real, like it's like a way of saying I'm shocked at what you're doing, but
Yeah.
thank you.
That's
It's
like-
like
Wow.
a young
So it's
person.
like a diss,
That's like
not
really
this.
bad.
Yeah.
Jacob Persley in the house right there. Hey Jacob, I sent you a Facebook message
Ooh, Facebook.
about the church in Armenia because I want to send some people your way on Sunday.
1-800
So
call Jacob.
okay, so here's
Jacob and Bronny.
Jacob said they don't want children in the apostolic church. No babies. No babies in strollers. We were forced to leave because our daughter was sleeping in her stroller. We had to take her out. Also, and I'm waiting the rest of the conversation there.
Oh.
Forget about let the little children come to me.
Literally.
Non-existent from my experience. My son asked me when he was 8, why do the apostolic churches hate children? Wow. And his son is a brilliant kid. Like seriously. His son talks Armenian better than any single one of us sitting here.
That's pretty.
Like
It's pretty awesome.
phenomenal. And
Yeah, I've seen Jacob. Jacob speaks Turkish too, I think, right?
yeah, he speaks Turkish and he speaks
Wow.
Kurdish as well. Jacob is a linguistic like machine. He just learns languages like oh man.
Hey, Jacob. On that, we have a lot of kids at our church.
Yeah.
We it's crazy. I think we like encourage it so much where people are just left and right having kids, and sometimes
How do we encourage that a lot? What do we-
I mean we have a lot of children to say the least,
Be
and
fruitful
sometimes
and
they're in the
multiply.
back and they're making noise or
Oh man, last Sunday.
Yeah,
We just had a kid all sermon long.
yeah during the sermons and stuff. And honestly, I think our culture is so used to it that. I mean, sometimes it can be bothersome,
Sure.
but we generally tune it out because we love the kids, and and it's so interesting. At church, we all like enjoy each other's kids. Like this guy is like taking care of my kids. He's taking care of my kids. I'm looking after his kids. It's so joyful, man. So yeah, we don't have that issue. I can't believe that would be something they would deal with.
Ooh, almost fell there. I'm gonna turn the AC on, but let's put it on low. Okay, Jerome said, might as well rename the stream Old Christian Men Discover Online Language
It's
Usage.
sad how we feel like we're the old ones now. And
No, we don't
get
feel
the-
like it. We are the old ones now.
That's cap.
All right, what is that?
Hey,
cat
you know
mean
why?
again?
You know why?
Cat
It's
means-
because you don't have any Riz.
Actually,
Bro, we just like, that's a whole sentence.
Hey, if you guys have like all this lingo down, send that to me, please, so I can know what. I have no clue.
Bro, you
All I
gotta
know
go on
is
like Urban
our
Dictionary.
music back in the '90s was so much better. What is this rap nowadays? All it is like, yeah, like they're just mumbling, man. I don't get any of this music.
Bro, soon we're just gonna look at each other and like not say anything.
Wow, you put your air conditioning at 72 degrees. I'm proud of you. There was a
Your wife and
Wait,
I
why?
there was a Twitter I saw, a tweet I saw, or a X I saw, that it was a government issued tweet that said, if you want to conserve energy, please keep your when you're home, keep your thermostat or whatever at 78 degrees. When you leave the house, keep it at 85 and stuff like that. And the top comment was, I'd rather see all of civilization burn down and have no resources than put my air conditioning anything above 72 degrees.
Yeah, bro.
Your
Look, let me.
mean,
I was like,
your
I
wife put that up, or you did?
I
I
totally agree with that.
Wait, that's number one. That's horrendous. 78 degrees, bro. That's like summer weather in your home.
that's why you have
Who
an
wants
AC,
that?
not to have
I
a
mean,
AC.
yeah. And just open your windows and it'll
And
be
we live in
loaded.
Southern California where we need central AC.
Here's what I would say. I actually, my monitors, I just replaced this monitor because
very nice,
it got so hot in here when my other air conditioner like broke, where the monitor, the glass melted off. It's actually sitting right there. And then this one, if you look at it from the side, you see that it's melted off too. Like,
No cap.
let me tell you this. No cap, that's right. If I don't keep it, this is on automatic. Like at 8 a.m., 7 a.m., this thing turns on and it keeps this place at 72. Because it could literally damage every single equipment I have in here. So thank you, Mr. Twitter folks who are jumping there saying 78. You're not going to be paying for the equipment I have in here, so go away. Somebody said cap is so 2016.
Sorry.
Oh, man. Alhamdulillah. Bro.
Allah!
We were watching the Brazil highlights today in Arabic, and I just
That was-
love the
that was
Arabic
fun.
announcers, man.
If you ever want to see like a game and get like a different spin on it,
Bro, I should
listen to
change.
another
I should
language.
change the title of this stream to 4 Muslim men talking to Christians, because like they're just gonna come in here and think we're Muslims just because of the beard. I would just bait them, bait and switch,
Bait and switch.
bait and switch.
Is there a word for that? Is there,
Eddie said boomers. Eddie, you are actually a boomer. Actually.
actually, we're like his backup singers or something.
I think the apostolic churches in the West operate differently. That's probably true. I definitely noticed that in Armenia, there's a very big difference in mentality of priests in Armenia here. Go ahead.
Of course.
Yeah, Harun's got stuff to say. I love it.
No, like obviously having been in Armenia, on 5 different occasions and being born there, people treat going to the Apostolic Church like as if they're going to a museum. It's like you just go there to enjoy the grandeur and whatever. You do your stuff and then you leave and that's it.
I do enjoy.
Absolutely.
And we were talking
Yeah,
about this
absolutely.
when you went to Italy. You can walk into an apostolic church on a Tuesday afternoon and be able to just sit there and pray and concentrate, and the doors are open. You can get in there. People walk in and out. Like many times in Armenia, I would go on a walk and then go like, man, I just need like 15 minutes to like sit in the presence of the Lord. And I would just walk into a church and just sit there. Like, I really like that, and I wish American churches, Protestant churches in America did that more. where the church building was open, the sanctuary was open, and somebody can just sit there. Even if there was just like music going, right? And people could just spend some time in there. And I really enjoyed that. Aloha from Hawaii. That's Justin.
Wow, that's cool.
Justin's killing it. What's up, Justin?
I didn't know Justin went back to the Orthodox faith.
He said, I was told that they make the services torturous so that the congregants can feel the sufferings of Christ. Wow. Jacob, you're on a roll.
Wow.
Have you ever read the Gen Z Bible?
I can't say I have.
No.
Not interested.
No.
Yeah. If it's not a real translation, I stay away from it.
Modern lingo that they
Yeah.
put in there. Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I've seen like
Snippets?
like shorts and stuff like that of like if the Bible was written to Gen Zers, and it's stuff like he's got no riz and all this stuff. It's
I
hilarious.
wonder if
That's
it sounds
fun.
like pigeon.
No, it doesn't.
Oh man, pigeon is a different story.
Yeah. Oh, so okay, Jerome's talking about Ethiopianism. It's not the same, obviously, but the Ethiopian Orthodox Church that my mother goes to seems to have an infinite children in it. Praise the Lord, Ethiopians know what's up. Removing children from their churches is a novel and confusing concept to me. That's interesting. Like so both of those, the Apostolic Church, the Ethiopian Church, are Oriental churches, Oriental Orthodox churches. And yet, so I wonder if that has something to do with like more of a cultural sort of thing rather than like the religious aspect of it. That makes sense. Arthur doesn't like the NLT, then it seems that's true.
Not. What does he say?
It's not a real translation.
real
The NLT is not a real translation. Even though it's called a translation, I think that's a bait and
Wait.
switch.
Can I ask you all an uncontroversial question?
David, you're more than welcome to
You
ask
mean a
us.
non-controversial question?
It could be uncontroversial or non-controversial.
What's Riz again?
I feel like this is going to be the most controversial question coming up.
Complimenting,
Ethiopianism is goat.
right? Isn't rizzing like complimenting?
The Ethiopian church does have.
Come on, David. I'm curious.
Let's go.
I'm
Dave.
waiting.
Yes, I do get food stuck in my beard every day.
Who was that?
If that's the question.
If that's
I
the
don't.
question.
I don't.
That's because
Tom,
I don't even
Actually,
know.
To say a funny story, these guys always bother
Yes.
me because I get food stuck in my beard. So today I actually sent them a picture of myself,
With
like
a
just a
piece of food
selfie,
stuck in his
and I
beard.
didn't. It was something completely unrelated, not about food. And then they all pointed out from Telegram that I have food in my beard. So then I looked at the picture's location and I took the food out.
So your beard is a lot curlier.
Curly,
It kind of
that's
like
why it
curls
catches.
out. It just catches crumbs.
It's like a
Mine
net.
doesn't.
It's like a net for crumb.
Mine
what were
doesn't.
you eating for
His
lunch today,
definitely doesn't.
Tomek?
Look at that, man.
What was that crumb from?
I don't know. It's probably somewhere in here.
It's always evidence of your eating.
Actually, once I had a piece of cereal stuck in here, and then throughout the day I was smelling like a terrible odor,
Disgusting.
and I didn't know this. And so finally, I looked at myself in the mirror and I saw there was a little Cheerios
Spoiled
stuck
milk.
in there, and it was spoiled milk on the Cheerios.
Oh,
it's a
man,
true story,
stop,
my friends.
stop.
True story.
Disgusting, bro. What's wrong with you?
Your wife is a saint.
I know, huh?
Look at this.
Who are you asking, David? Are you asking Arthur or?
What's the controversial question?
Oh, brother.
Pulling up the NWT.
New World Translation. Question is, it got lost.
What does the word draw mean?
Oh
in
man,
John
go
6:44?
away. We're not even having uncontroversial. My
I
foot.
told you it's gonna be the most
My
controversial.
foot.
I called it.
Go away.
Oh, didn't we do this study a couple weeks
Hey,
ago?
Eddie said, "Ew, brother, ew."
Oh, brother.
Oh, brother, stay away. I'm just gonna ignore David's question there because he lied. Arthur likes the NWT and the Passion Translation. Shame on you.
Back to
Is whites can't get the beautiful beards of the men from the East. What?
I think he's saying white people can't get the beautiful beard of the men from the east.
Yeah, I've seen some white guys have phenomenal beards.
if you have
You guys are making having a beard sound so annoying. Maybe I shouldn't commit to growing one.
No, you should, especially if you have a horrible jawline. It helps.
Wow. Look at that face. Like, dude, like that's phenomenal. I was listening to some rabbis a long time ago about beards. Okay, and these guys were talking about like trimming the edges of your beard, like the Old Testament passage. And then the question they asked the rabbi was, "What about people who can't grow beards?" And his response was like the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. He said, "My friend, everyone's beard is beautiful."
I think you said that to me. I said, "Hey, how do you like my beard?" And you're like, "Every beard.
Every beard is beautiful. Every beard."
Actually, the same guy that goes, "Oh, brother, that guy." I was watching a clip of him today. He's like, "The first thing I'm gonna do when I go to heaven is shave my beard, brothers." Like, I hate my beard.
What
That's
a
the
lame guy.
That's the first thing I'm gonna do. Is
I
shave.
wonder if Muhammad had a beard. Probably didn't. I just like if Donald Trump had a beard yesterday during the debate, they would have just stopped it right when they walked on stage and just winner. I wish more American presidents had beard.
It would be an orange beard.
It'd be interesting to see
Hey, the
Trump with a
Donald,
beard.
Tomek, the Donald has a new hairdo, bro. What is that? What dyed on his
I didn't notice anything.
the Donnie? Donnie Brasco.
Arthur, you don't all agree on the definition. I'm truly shocked. Yeah, I mean, there's Calvinists and non-Calvinists here, so yeah. It's so shocking that that Christians who are Calvinists and non-Calvinists can get together and have a fun time.
I mean, we do go back and forth about it. It's not like we
Yeah.
ignore the subject, but
Correct.
we do it so much. I feel like
We're just tired.
I'm just sick of telling Arthur how wrong he is on this subject. So
yeah, I would agree on that.
I digress.
We can
Okay.
totally try to
Why
work
did the
it out.
Catholic monks have to shave? I don't know. Probably some weird Italian thing.
Probably
The Romans didn't have beards, as
think-
opposed to the cultures around them. No, they were.
Yeah, I think because it was just a lice issue, probably. They just want to be clean.
Rome was lice infested.
No, like
Even the women were bald.
Oh, what are we talking about?
Even when the
guys?
women were bald.
We ignored John chapter 6. To
No,
talk
I'm,
about
I'm not even
beards.
going to deal with that.
no, we went over that.
Okay, so Eddie says we should rate all your beards. I agree. I
All
agree.
right, go
Okay,
ahead.
so
This is
here's
not
the way we'll do
fair.
it.
Wait,
Here-
coin
It's not
toss. I
fair.
want to
Everyone
go.
No,
wants-
hang on.
Everyone wants
1
this
to
guy on
10.
the beer
So
team.
if you're gonna so that's Tom Egg. You can put a T and then the number 0 to 10 instead of beard. Okay, so you put a T for his name and then the number. D for David and then the number. H for Harut and then the number. And A for Arthur and the number.
Can't you put a poll
And
up?
then no, it's okay. Let him do it. I
Where's
don't
all
have
your
time to
mods?
sit down. But here's what I would say. And then and then we can share who we think has the best beer
I got
out of
some
all of us.
Wait, who
pepper in
goes
here. I got
first?
some wine.
Wait, hang on. We gotta wait for them to do it, and then we'll do it.
Wait, you know what's wait, you haven't even seen the different angles of our beards,
Oh.
though. Hold on.
Hey, he has Cheerios in his beard. It comes with a Cheerio.
the spoiled milk and sweet.
Mine has a little bit of salt.
Mine has that Persian prince, the way it sticks out. Look at that. You know what's funny? Actually, speaking of a coin toss, who goes first? Apparently, yesterday they had a coin toss which Biden won, and he either got to choose to give his statement last, like have the closing statement, or choose which podium he wants, and he chose the podium.
No,
Yeah, I'm serious. Read into it. He chose the right podium.
that's
for some
interesting.
reason.
It's maybe shorter from.
I just think he didn't want
The
to have the
higher
final
the
say.
number, the better.
Okay, so
I'm
Eddie
winning.
says Tomek
Let's
is a
go.
4,
Oh, that's
David is a
brutal.
9, Harut is a 7, Arthur is a
Let's
6.
go.
Okay,
Eddie, much love,
You
man.
you give the guy with the longest beard the lowest score?
hang on.
Well, you have an Al Qaeda beard, brother.
Whoa, relax, bro. Don't say stuff like that. I'm gonna get blocked.
Fine, you have a Abdul.
I feel like Eddie is
Abu
conspiring
Bakr.
against-
Okay, so Jacob knows Islamic stuff. So we'll listen. He said Muhammad had a red beard and hair. Correct. We know he was fair skinned, fairer than all of them. He was whiter, the whitest feet, as David Wood says. The whitest feet, the whitest arms, the whitest face. He was a ginger.
Really? That's interesting.
That is why in the Muslim world you see guys dye their hair and beard red, but it ends up being orange. Google it. Muhammad the Irish prophet.
Wow, interesting.
Okay. Okay. So Eddie's the only person who's voted on the beards, by the way.
No one cares about beards.
He's the only responsible person voting. He must.
I making a poll is kind of like extra work. I gotta get to my computer. I don't want to.
Eddie, I assume you're a Joe
here's what I
Biden
would say.
voter.
Here's what I would say. I actually think Harut has the best beard out of all of us.
Why?
It just
Yeah,
like
yours?
it yeah. The way it sits and the way it grows is really awesome. My
You dye your
beard,
beard how to?
I just hear.
so my beard
where
when
you
it
get all your
grows, when my beard grows, it just starts like just going like that. It doesn't get longer. It's very frustrating.
This size is good.
I've seen his beard longer,
Oh, yeah.
and just it's fantabulous. I sort of like yours, but if you got rid of your mustache, you know what you would look like.
What? I don't even know what that means. What does that even mean?
Wallahi,
I think it's time for me and my beard to go.
wallahi.
I'm offended, Eddie. I'm
look-
unfollowing you on Facebook, man.
Wow.
You just gave this measly
I agree.
excuse for a beard.
I agree.
A higher score.
He has the worst of all our beards.
No, hey, mine
You have
is
to dye-
natural.
you have to dye it.
I don't dye it like you.
Well,
bunch of
forget
pansies.
dyeing it. We're
And
talking
mine is
about
not dirty like his.
No, hang on. We're talking about not the dyeing or doing this and that. We're talking about the fullness of it, the
Hey,
growth of it, and all that.
No, we just wanted to rate beards. We didn't want to talk about what makes a beard and the number of.
When is a
beards.
beard a beard?
Yeah.
Now we can do the best belly. I bet you I'd win that.
Yeah, you would. You would.
Okay, real question from David.
I'll give you my
David A. Real question: steak, chicken, fish, or pork?
steak.
Steak.
Pork.
What?
Pork.
Highest not. Well, I don't know. He's a.
100%
He's
pork. That bro, baby back ribs, bro.
Yeah, baby
bro,
back.
well,
Yeah,
like-
a baby back.
Bacon.
Pun. Regular ribs. Okay, let's go to Swinging Door tomorrow, and we'll settle that there.
I don't want to walk into any restaurant named Swingin' Door. Swingin' whatever. You guys.
That's how
Wallahi.
rumors start. brother.
Wallahi, why do you
That's
go
how
to this
rumors
place?
Start, brother.
Brother,
You didn't say anything last time I
brother,
took you
don't
to.
say this. Wallahi, bro.
Why
We got new
is this
numbers.
guy-
Okay, hang on. Here go. Okay, so Tomek 7.89,
Beautiful.
What?
David 7.92,
Oh, I still beat you.
Harut
Oh,
8.45. I agree.
man.
Arthur
This is
8.11.
brutal,
What is
man.
these
I'm
rating
shaving.
numbers? Like,
I'm
you need to-
shaving my beard tonight. Shame on all of you guys.
Okay, so everyone gets an 8 except for Tom. Arthur might get a 9. No favoritism here, of course. Yeah, it's okay. We'll take that.
It's all because of you guys I grew this beard, so I gotta.
David says Tom is a 9, but it would be a 10 if he
Oh,
dyes
brother.
it red.
Brother, you should do it red for.
But he's got to
Halloween.
get rid of the
Hey,
mustache.
for Halloween, you should be dressed up as Muhammad.
That'll cause a few
Bro.
people to
Wallahi,
put a.
I like my life,
channel's
David.
getting deleted.
I like my life, David.
My channel's getting deleted. David says swinging door. I have more questions.
Oh no, it's a good barbecue restaurant here in the San Fernando Valley.
Okay, Jacob says we need to get everyone's face close to the camera. Then we can vote. The vote will be fair.
Oh, he wants to do a close-up and personal beard cam. Do you have a beard cam?
Imagine. I should set that up as a beard cam.
And you can let anyone on your station.
Next
with that,
time,
on your channel.
next time we do this, only make our beards visible.
From the
We'll
beard-
put
from
two
the beard
eyes
up.
on our beards and
From
we'll
the
speak.
beard up. That's
Oh.
great. Do you allow
Decimals
people on your
inside
channel
the
only if
rating.
they have beards? Art?
What do you
Is
mean,
that a
like
requisite?
guests?
Yeah,
Like guests I interview and stuff? No, it's not a requisite. But in office, you have to have a beard.
in office.
Yeah, unless you're a woman. Then,
And then you definitely have to have.
bro, like just beards. This guy came to our church. He didn't have a beard. And then he
Did I have a
literally,
clean
I
shaven
think,
face,
felt.
or did I have a little?
No.
Set
You
off?
you would like shave the morning of every Sunday, and then you just felt so left out. We just started. It just naturally. One day you woke up and huge beard on the face. Huge.
It was the best beard in all the land.
It was the greatest beard in the history of the life of this country.
Hey, to be fair, you guys rubbed off on me, and I rubbed off on you guys. I never saw any of you guys wear a suit to church or a tie, and now I'm starting to see.
Bro,
all the-
the only reason I
a
wear
lot
it is
of
because you
elders
forced
and
me
the-
to,
Well,
and I still haven't wore a suit.
No, yes, you have.
No.
You Benny Hinn suit.
No.
Benny
I
Hinn
no.
suit?
Why don't we rate who has the best hair?
Oh.
How
Well,
still
well,
wins?
No. That is not true.
Bro, look, if we did a rating on the best looking guy sitting here, Hadut wins. No question about it.
That's still
No
not
homo.
Well, it's a bunch of guys voting right now.
No homo. It doesn't matter. He's a
Hey,
good looking
seriously,
guy.
can you work on
He's a
that
good
beard
looking
cap?
No Homo sapien.
No Homo sapiens. The Pisabi thinks that Homo sapien means,
We know.
wallahi.
I think Pisabi would.
What do
win
you
the beard
think
comp.
about this guy, Pisabi? Guys. What do you guys think about Pisabi?
No, I might have not
hang
won
on.
the beard.
You guys like have seen Pisabi, and one time he attacked me in studio and stuff like that. What do you guys think about this? You guys think he's come to Bible study? I wasn't there. You guys were there when he came to Bible study. You guys think there's hope for this guy to become a Christian?
We definitely should be praying for him.
Why are you looking at me, man?
Malarkey.
It's a bunch of malarkey.
Come on, man. Beard Olympics.
We should definitely try every state that says they have great barbecue and rate that. Like Texas and what else? What else says they have great barbecue? Oh, Tennessee.
We actually do have a green screen here somewhere.
Arthur is lying. I saw him in the stream with a suit. That's not a suit. A suit is a 2-piece or a 3-piece suit with a tie. I've never wore a suit to church.
That's correct.
Like, you guys need to define. You guys need to understand the definition
sport coat.
of what a suit is. That is a sports coat. It's
You
a
wore
blazer.
a sport coat with a Benny Hinn
It's
color.
a blazer. Don't
Guys,
hate. Don't hate on my really
that's his,
off. Look, dude.
That's
a
Arthur's
charismatic
look.
suit.
Let me
That's
tell you
Arthur's
this.
look. He loves a Benny
I
Hinn
would
thing.
totally fit in
Where?
India and in the Islamic world with my shirts
agree.
with those collars.
I agree.
I love it. It's 1,000 times more
Who
comfortable.
got you onto that fashion?
My wife.
Huh.
It's 1,000 times
like
more
what?
comfortable than wearing a collared shirt.
I feel like it doesn't know what it is. It doesn't have its own place. It's not a color.
Bro, this cultural appropriation right here. You're judging people's cultures. Go away.
It's a Southern
Pisabi
Pisabi is a
reprobate.
reprobate.
Ooh, reprobate. Really?
Yeah,
What do
but
think?
you know he's willing to have the faith conversation. I've seen growth in that man.
Yeah. Keep on praying for Pisabi, guys.
Jerome says, David, your suits are really cool though. You seem like you're going to a wedding every time.
Thank you, Jerome.
He is.
Seriously,
It's
I'm
the
starting to
wedding.
become his-
It's the wedding of the Lamb.
Man, is this how pastors feel? Always getting these compliments.
I know.
Man, great beards.
It's tough not to puff up, huh?
So I know that pastors
least-
get so much compliments that I intentionally say something negative
Oh my
after.
gosh. Arthur, guys, I gotta let you know the life of the pastor. Every time Arthur comes up to me after a message, Pastor, that was a great sermon, but I have 10 things I want to talk to you about.
It's not always 10. Sometimes it's 2 and
8.
sometimes it's 15.
Sometimes like 8.
Yeah.
If it's 2, it's like a
But
pretty
you know
good
what
sermon.
you know for sure is that I'm paying attention.
Sometimes.
No, not sometimes. I'm 100% sure. 100% of the time, I'm paying attention. You even know when I've checked out.
You close your Bible.
Yes.
I know that. So every time
I
I'm
put
like,
my notes away. I close my Bible. I'm like,
and I have to check myself because I'm like, I'm not preaching just for you. So I'm not going to like start like preaching.
but
I'm like,
it's
I'm
not.
just gonna
When I say
preach and
check
teach.
out, I mean like, I parallel study the word when you're preaching. Like
As
I
we all
have
should.
I have my iPad next to me. I got commentaries open. I got the Bible, multiple translations. I'm like interacting with your sermons.
And I know which commentary he loves the most. So I know if I reference that, I'm like, yep, it's right there.
Yeah. And I know what you're quoting and not quoting. It's great. Haram, brother. Haram. Oh,
Wow.
who is this guy? That is a
Oh,
question.
fucking
That's a cool
That's
picture.
someone that knows
What
me.
is the meaning of
What is the meaning of life? This is someone who knows me.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. Who are you? And not only do you know me from my high school days.
Reveal yourself.
I want to know who you are, because nobody's asked me that question since high school. That is a regular question that I used to get asked in high school, and there's a specific answer to that question. I'll tell you guys later. I want to know who this person is.
Well, have him answer the question he thinks you're going to
You know what? Yeah, that's the way I would know that you actually know me. How would I answer that question?
Tyom? Timmy?
I can't see.
You serious? Are you blind?
It seems to me that Jerome says it seems to him that having the name David increases your chances of being a good pastor. Hey, thanks, Narek. Appreciate it, my guy. Nice stream.
You say Nautic? Oh, not
Yeah, his name is Nautic.
No, it's not it.
Oh, he doesn't know me. He literally just joined.
It's meaningless. Sign off.
So I'll tell you guys what's actually
Sabotaging his channel.
actually to tell you. So when I was in high school, there was this thing where people would ask me what the meaning of life is, and my response was, "Life is a tragedy.
Life is a tragedy.
Life is a tragedy." I still stand by it, like 80%. You know, we're born, we suffer, we die, but there's a loophole.
Oh, you got another.
But
Super
there's a loophole.
Mustache.
Hey, this Tatiana.
Tatiana
man, this
is
great,
like-
bro.
Pisabi has the best.
Tatiana's like
$1.99.
Pisabi has the best beard.
I have a good wife. I have a good wife.
Pisabi's not here.
Bestest beard.
Bro, what good one? She's talking about Pisabi.
Oh. Pisabi has a good wife.
What?
I mean, forget about it. It's late.
Oh man, well, makes sense. Yeah, life is a tragedy. But notice that Tatiana gave a 99-cent super chat, and then she gave a 1.99,
And then the next one
and
she's gonna give.
5.99
No, I was
maybe.
going $3.99. Baba, shot you says,
like
you want
she's
too
doubling,
much.
yeah. Maybe. But at least we got some super chats.
Tatiana's just trying to make me come home at this point.
Hey, let me just tell you guys this. So Tatiana, if you don't know this, YouTube takes 40% of super chats.
So send it like through EBT. Something else.
Life is a test. Is it though? I'm not sure.
Journey.
It's a journey.
I love this quote by C.S. Lewis.
Pisabi should enter the chat.
I love this quote by
He's probably
C.S.
sleeping.
Lewis.
Pisabi's probably
He
sleeping.
says, "To love at all is to be vulnerable. Love anything, and your heart will be wrung and possibly broken.
Oh.
If you want to make sure of keeping it intact, you must give it to no one, not even an animal."
Wow. That's deep. Man.
I think that's what life, at least one of the meanings of life is to love people and to,
Be heartbroken.
yeah, I mean, it is. It's a big risk to love people and to.
Yeah, we
Serve
don't just
people
mean that in a romantic sense.
No. I mean that in a holistic sense, full sense.
You know, here's the thing, maybe like in pastoral ministry and just ministry in general. One of the things that is so heavy on people who are in ministry is that you give and give and give and give. And most of the time, like if you're not doing it for God, you will be the most miserable individual on the planet. You will be miserable. You will just have such a disdain for people because you will give of yourself and that usually doesn't get reciprocated. Usually, I'm not, and again, if you're not doing it for Jesus and for Jesus and through Jesus, you're going to be the most bitter person on the planet. And yeah, it's tough because people will take your heart, they'll smush it up, they'll throw it into a blender and give it back to you.
Yeah, it's really difficult. We had a serious case this last week at our church, and I just went home from the hospital visitations, and man, I just was crying.
Yeah.
And it's difficult. You really enter into the deepest, darkest moments of people's lives, or the most joyous, right? We definitely, as Christians and as pastors and as leaders, we get, bolted into these really difficult situations.
I think to continue on that serious note, I'm sure you all know the story of trying to bring here Lazarus being raised from the dead to life. I was watching Chosen season 4, and I like the Chosen. I don't care what people say. I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
I like the side stories and stuff.
Apologia Center supports the
Yeah,
chosen.
and it was interesting, man,
Come
because
at me.
when I don't want to spoilers here in case you haven't read your Bible.
Hey, I just want to say you were at the chosen premiere.
Yes, I was.
Yeah, that I never got invited to. Thanks a lot.
But
Sorry, we just had
Trying
two
to get
tickets.
in between these
We
two
just
is
had two.
almost
We
impossible.
just had 2 tickets, bro.
Yeah.
Chosen to go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
we were
going to
chosen.
Armenia. Hey, Tom, you want to come with me? Hey,
But
Pastor David,
there's a moment where
Trying to get in between these.
Jesus is walking and he tells his disciples what he's gonna do, and then there's a moment that he gets there and Mary and Martha run up to him, and he tells them like what he's gonna do, and he says your brother's gonna live and stuff like that, and then or I'll raise him and stuff like that, and no one really gets it. People aren't, but then he cries afterwards. Like, at least that's the order of things in The Chosen. He cries after proclaiming that he's going to raise this man from the dead. And, man, it had me in full goosebump mode watching it, because I was like, the amount of heart and love you have to have for someone, that even with the fact that, you know, being sovereign, being God, that you're going to raise this man from the dead, still you pour out your emotions because you've lost someone, at least momentarily, that you love. And I think that's intense, man.
Jerome said spoiler alerts for 2,000-year-old event.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, man. Jacob quoted the Westminster Confession. What is the chief end of man? To glorify God and enjoy him forever. Amen. That's my favorite line out of that confession. Amen to that. So Narek said, are you guys going to jam out? I know the gentleman on the right is great at keyboards and vocals.
He is. Why don't you sing us a song, brother?
He is the only one that can jam.
Who's right?
Why am I like just like picturing George Bush just going, not knowing his right or left?
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me,
There's inside words and outside words.
fool me twice. Never mind.
I just remembered. I just had a thought, not remembered. Democrats have absolutely no right to ever, in the existence of the history of the life of this country, to make fun of George Bush for the way he spoke after yesterday.
Yeah, forget about it.
Like, you just can't. You can't make fun of him for nuclear. You can't make fun of him for the right-left blunders.
Getting a shoe
Because
thrown
at
at
most,
himself.
yeah, but at least those were words.
Weapons of mass destruction. The
What?
BMDs.
Yeah, because I think Biden outdid anything George Bush could have ever done.
Yes, he did.
Do you guys feel sad for the state of our country? Here's an example I'll give. There was a lot of like memes online about like how we have these two guys. I mean, Trump is a mess in his own right. These two guys that are maybe not the best representation of like the demographics of the country going at it. Would we want? I'm not saying younger is always better, by the way. I think that's a dumb way to live. But like, what? Like, yeah, right. Like,
I think Americans have had presidents in the past that have articulated themselves better, that have spoken in a much more prestigious ways, and have sucked at doing politics.
correct.
And so I was telling my brother yesterday, I was like, he's like, I wish Trump would just like give better answers. Like when they talked about certain things, he would give better responses and say this and say that. And I was like, brother, like it's people at this point don't want to hear that. Like if imagine you had Ted Cruz up there on that debate stage, who knows all these things like factually and stuff, there's a good chance Biden beats him just because Ted Cruz can sound annoying at times. And I just think, I get what you're saying, man, but I think it's kind of silly to just throw Trump, like, oh, look at these two fools we have and stuff like that, and like, haha, America's a laughing stock, can't they do better? I mean, honestly, no, man, I don't see it that way. Let me tell you this, I see Trump's last term as a pretty good conservative presidential term. I saw him. I mean, you can talk a good game, but I mean, the guy put 3 justices in that were pretty conservative, ended up overturning Roe v. Wade. People forget that. Yeah, it wasn't something he signed, but it's something he.
Well, when Democrats say that our democracy is on the line, and then those kinds of lines they throw around, those are the things they're referencing.
Yeah.
Like, the things that conservatives rejoice over. And it again, for people that don't think deeply on these subjects and they just like slogans, that's what they're like. Oh man, our democracy, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
We are a representative republic, friends. We are not a democracy.
People to go into office. But that is democracy. People voted for this man to go into office to make those,
Those
changes
decisions, yeah.
that reflects their worldview.
Jacob, by the way, I agree with you that he was weak on abortion,
He was.
especially on the abortion pill. But like the way I see it, and some brothers don't see it this way, is that Trump, he doesn't have a strong position on this issue, but he ends up putting people into office or into positions that do have strong positions on these issues. And from the evidence that we saw, it's usually strong issues like anti-abortion. So you had, even if he says these kind of things, right? At the end of the day, he put like 3 justices in there who overturned Roe v. Wade. I guarantee you, like, he's not going to be going, like, let's assume Oklahoma passes a complete ban on abortion. Like, I don't think Trump is going to come out and be like, I'm going to rebuke Oklahoma's governor for signing a complete ban on abortion. So it's like, this is like, I understand kind of those sentiments, but in my opinion, it seems like what's actually happening in his presidency is not as moderate of a position as he takes. when he
It really
speaks.
depends in regards to, again, this is when it comes to like voting for the administration, voting for the policies,
Yeah.
right? Not just the individuals. And that's probably the only thing that has me in a place where I would vote for Trump.
Like, for example, Biden yesterday said something like, they were talking about the abortion issue, and he's like, "Well, how long was it for the Supreme Court to overturn that? It was the law of the land for 50-something years." Yeah. And I remember my brother saying, Trump's response there should have been, and slavery was also the law of the land.
It should have been.
Like, those are moments where you just like, if you can just think a little harder, and if you could just be a little more prepared, that would have been a great answer.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just because something has been the law of the land doesn't mean it's good or moral or ethical.
Yeah, the law of the land has been wrong
Yeah.
plenty
But
of
people
times.
don't realize the law of the land that Trump is proposing is on state by state,
Well, yeah, he's saying
situations.
that's
He's-
constitutional.
Yeah, but I guess it's his own position, regardless of like what is his position.
Yeah, for me, my response would be the Supreme Court has no jurisdiction, according to the Constitution, to pass any laws in this country. You should go back to law school,
that's always
Mr.
been,
President. The resurrection account, there's a question Jerome said for all of us. The resurrection account removed. What is your favorite part of the Bible? Question for all of you. We'll start with you, gentlemen. Tomic.
Like, what is my favorite story, or what's my favorite verse? What does he
Well,
mean?
he says your favorite part of the Bible. I think that includes all of it.
I think it would have to be. I know, like, I want to give a more like, I would want to be different, but it would have to be the cross.
He said the resurrection removed. I think he might
also implied that too.
imply the death of
the
Jesus, like
resurrection
passion.
removed, or the
Yeah, he said don't include the resurrection. So I'm just gonna say, on his behalf, remove the passion. There's no like favorite Bible story that gets you like.
I mean, there's so many, but I don't know. I don't know if I would say I have a favorite. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I can answer that, Jerome. Like a certain favorite story. I'm not sure. I love the Acts. I love I feel like I wish there was more movies based on what Paul and the apostles did. I love the story. I love how the early church deals with issues. I love the seriousness of the way God acts, even in the New Testament, in the life of the new church. I love those stories. So I would say, yeah, maybe just the complete Acts and how the apostles or the disciples continue the ministry of God, kind of seeing all this epic story play out, and then now they're starting to go forward with that. That's probably what I would say.
I think mine would be, and Arthur got to preach on this at church. I was so disappointed. I gave him his assigned text, and he decided to swallow up the whole entire section. I followed it, and I was like, no, the rich young ruler. Just really one of the saddest situations in all the scriptures. And also, obviously, the parable of the soils. Yeah, those are just stories for me that just kind of like summarize the gospel.
Mine would have to be the nativity. When I think I was like 16 or maybe 15. It was then when that story really hit me, And I remember that day when I was I think I was watching like a very, it was a film but silent. There was no speaking. It was just silent and music. And I broke down. And I cried at the fact that how our God can humble himself so much and choose to be born in a barn with animals, with their with Mary and Joseph just being completely alone.
Dude, like, you guys are gonna put me to shame with like the answers you gave were so awesome. This is a story I really, really like in the Bible. Okay, it's out of the book of Judges, chapter 3.
You have it up.
Yeah, it's the story of Ehud. And the people of Israel, again, did what was evil in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord strengthened Eglon, the king of Moab, against Israel, because they had done what was evil in the sight of the Lord. He gathered to himself the Ammonites and the Amalekites, and went and defeated Israel. And they took possession of the city of palms, and the people of Israel served Eglon, the king of Moab, 18 years. Check this out. Then the people of Israel cried out to the Lord, and the Lord raised up for them a deliverer, Ehud, the son of Gera, the Benjaminite, a left-handed man. This is very important that he's left-handed, okay? The people of Israel sent tribute to him, to Eglon, to the king of Moab. And Ehud made for himself a sword with 2 edges. And then it gives the definition of like what the side was. And then it says, and he hid it on his right side. So he's left-handed. So he's going to reach to his right side to grab the sword. And then he goes into where the king is. And essentially they check his left side, because that's where normally the people would carry the sword. So he sneaks his swords in. But check this out. This is going to get disgusting. This is going to get disgusting. And he presented the tribute to Eglon, king of Moab. Now, Eglon was a very fat man. He's really fat. And when Ehud had finished presenting the tribute, he sent away the people who carried the tribute. But he himself turned back at the idols near Gilgal and said, I have a secret message for you, O king. And he commanded silence, and all his attendants went out from, so it's just the 2 of them left. Okay? And Ehud came to him as he was sitting alone in his cool roof chamber. And Ehud said, I have a message from God for you. And he arose from his seat, and Ehud reached with his left hand and took the sword from his right thigh and thrust it into his belly. You see, this is my highlighted in my Bible, by the way. The guys are seeing this. And the hilt also went in after the blade. He stuck the entire sword into the guy's gut because he's so fat.
He made him into a skewer.
And look what it says. And the hilt went after the blade, and the fat closed over the blade. For he did not pull the sword out of his belly, and the dung came out.
Oh, come on.
So then Ehud went out into the porch and closed the doors of the roof chamber behind him and locked them. And when he had gone, the servants came, and when they saw that the doors of the roof chamber were locked, they thought, surely he is relieving himself, because it smells like poop. They think he's pooping in there, in the closet of the cool chamber. And they waited till they were embarrassed. But when he still did not open the doors of the roof chamber, they took the key and opened it, and they found him dead.
And with that,
That's
like, of course you would love a story where someone gets stabbed and his poop comes out. See
Bro,
what we have to deal with over here.
So again, that's why I said it's going to put me to shame, because this guy's like the nativity. This guy's like the book of Acts. I love this story. It's the mess, and I don't mean no pun intended with the mess. It's the mess of Israel's history. God raising up judges that do this kind of stuff.
Jerome's like, this story reveals much about Arthur's character.
Yes.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
How is this your favorite? Literally anything else would.
Bro, your wife is a ruthless. She's going to take back the super chats. Give it back to me. I want a refund.
After that sharing of your favorite, I'm taking back the super chats.
Yeah.
Hey,
Take those
look,
super chats
I
away.
just there's a lot, but this one is just like. Let me tell you this.
Okay, how about this?
Let me tell you this. You're never gonna forget this. You're never gonna forget this story, right? You guys watching are never gonna forget the story about Ehud, the left-handed assassin. That's what he is.
I mean, that's definitely an entertaining story.
Bro, but that'll be in the movie.
One of our friends' sons plays soccer and he's left-footed. I'm gonna call him Ehud, the left-footed assassin.
There you go. Oh, look, Jacob says, I did a skit with my son Dow about Judges 3 story. It was amazing. He put that on his YouTube channel.
All right, put it up. Put it up.
No.
The kid has a YouTube channel?
Bro, Jacob is a man of God, missionary, committed to the cause of Jesus.
In Armenia.
And he loves this story.
Guys,
I am in good company.
Arthur always has these interesting answers to these questions. For example, at Bible study, somebody said, what's the city of Bethlehem most known for? Was it Bethlehem? And I said, typically you would say Jesus Christ. That's what it would be known for.
And you would say,
And,
no.
and he said, what? It was the city of David. Is that what you said? What did you say about it? Yeah. And then we said, who is the greatest king of Israel? And I think I responded, Jesus. And you said, no, King David. I feel like you're the guy. If we were playing an NBA 2K game, I would pick the all-time Lakers, and you would pick a terrible, like, Charlotte Bobcats, just to prove me wrong. Just to prove you could beat me with a bad team. I feel like that's what you would do. Am I wrong?
Charlotte Bobcats.
So right on.
Right? Like, he found the most annoying story in the Bible, and he shared it.
Bro, this is a story that is full of action.
JR's like,
If you had one story to share with someone before they lost their life.
That's
No,
not
I'm not
right.
saying this. I'm saying,
Come
what
on,
would
man.
you
Come
share?
on.
That's not right.
I'm saying, what would you share?
If I had one story
like
to
I-
share
like
with
if you had-
someone,
if you
if
had-
they were dying,
Yeah.
well, I'd share the
Apart
story.
from the resurrection.
Huh?
Assuming they knew that. If you could tell. Okay, maybe not dying. If you were able to give one sermon and you could never give a sermon again.
Oh, yeah. Look, man, I don't think you can beat the passion.
No,
Like,
but
like
not including the passion. Like if you could have give one sermon and that would be the final sermon you would ever give, where would you preach from?
Oh, something just came to his mind. You can see his smile.
I'm like debating between like 2 or 3
Give us the 2.
that are really good. I think the stoning of Stephen.
Oh, that's a good. I
would
wish
be
I
really
said
good.
that story.
So that's an act, and both of them are actually an act. And then the conversion of Paul. Stephen's. I'll tell you why. The conversion of Paul, my focus would be like an enemy of Christ coming to know Jesus. That would just be very powerful, I think. And the story of Stephen, because he summarizes the entire Bible, right? You can't beat that. Like the man, imagine preaching a sermon right before you're dying about a sermon a guy preached right before he was dying. Infinite regress. And if somebody could preach a story about you preaching that story, it just goes on.
So that would be you.
It's great.
That would be you preaching that story.
Jerome said, I lost the meaning why the guy was assassinated. So the guy was the king who was oppressing the people of Israel. And so God raises up a judge to defeat him, to free the people. And the book of Judges is a continuous cycle, you could say, a roller coaster, of God raising up a judge to free Israel. Israel rebels against God, and then they get punished with an enemy coming and taking over, and then the people repent and call out to God. Are you like playing with this thing? Oh yeah, don't do that. Yeah.
Give me that thing.
Take the mic away from him. He's like,
take
this,
you anywhere.
He's like, this fuzzy thing is
This
really
is why
cool.
we don't have nice things.
Yeah, so that's just the story of Judges. I thought Arthur was going to say something cool like Jesus rebuking the Pharisees for being hypocritical about keeping the Sabbath, but no, we get this instead.
Dude, Arthur would never, ever rebuke the Pharisees. I have such a
Whoa,
hard time with
hang on. That's not.
He thinks the
true.
Pharisees are right.
I don't.
He would be a Pharisee if.
Yeah,
Jesus
I do
Cut
believe.
this part out. Cut this part out.
I do believe that if we were in Jesus' day, we probably
night, brother.
wouldn't be the disciples. Like, I think that we would be religious Pharisees. It's so easy. I said this yesterday at Bible study. I think it's so easy to think about stories, even historically, and then we put ourselves in the shoes of like the heroes. Like, like I would be like so and so, and then when you look at the actual historical situation, there's one of that guy and a million other people who were against them. And so I think chances are the probability is that we would be against all that. Hey, take care, Jacob. Respond to my text. And then also, Jacob, we got to get on a phone call together because we got to talk about a trip to Armenia. So.
I'm thinking about September.
Yeah. We're all thinking about September. Are you guys tired?
Yes.
Bro, see, this is the difference, I guess, in like personalities. You three all are tired. I'm like, let's go on for another like 4 hours.
It's been nice. It's been very nice.
Been great.
It's also
Yeah.
because you do this and you have this endurance.
No, I just I feed off of.
It's also because he lives close by
Oh, shut up.
with the rest of us.
No, it's gonna take me like another 2 hours to fall asleep after you guys leave because I'm like
Wow,
my
really? You're just
adrenaline's
gonna have all
pumping.
this energy?
Yeah.
Wow.
Can't you
He's
tell?
gonna do a deep study of Judges.
3.
Judges 3 verse 20.
That's a sick story.
We
man.
should do that next time. We should do that skit next time. The 4 of us in here,
Reenact that part.
Who's gonna be
right
the
after eating 6 pizzas.
You're gonna be the
Great.
fat king.
Oh.
The fat king.
You're gonna
Oh man.
After 6 of them, we can.
Oh man, Jerome says, "See, that's my favorite part of the Bible because it's when I first decided that I liked the Bible. When I was reading it, none of this stuff about murdering fat people. It's not murdering fat people. It's one specific fat person who's a king who's oppressing another group.
It's
Same.
3 a.m.
It's 3 a.m. here in Dallas. Well, go to sleep. Nobody's holding your hand to force you to be up. Man, we're gonna get ruthless here."
Are you gonna keep the stream up?
If I die, you can give the poop story at my eulogy.
That would be epic, actually. That would be epic.
How would you tie that in?
Bro, have you guys heard about the story about the 2 brothers who are like hooligans who asked the like pastor? Okay, so there's these 2 brothers who are like just mess of people, and one of them dies, and the other one goes and finds the pastor and says, "Hey, I want you to do the funeral service for my brother." He says, "But you need to say that he was a saint in his service." And the guy was a mess, womanizer, thief, all this stuff. And the pastor says, "No problem." Day of the funeral comes. He gets up there, the pastor, and he says, "The man lying before you, the deceased today, was a horrendous individual. He was a womanizer. He was a thief. He was a scoundrel." Just says all this negative stuff about the dead guy. And he says, "But compared to his brother, he was a saint."
That's good.
So there you go. That's how you tie it in. You get up there. The person lying in front of you. But he was no AU. That's how you tie it in. Bro, preachers can do all sorts of this stuff like that. You got to be ready. If you're preaching, and we actually, I said this on Ruslan's channel the other day because he was talking about Cliff.
Yeah.
Ruslan put out a video of Cliff from like back in the days. He's really young. He's like, his wit and quickness and stuff like that. And then I said, when you do street ministry, it creates a certain kind of wit in you because questions are being thrown. And initially you're like, oh, what do? You start panicking. And then you learn how to respond to those things. And I don't think I'd be able to do any of this stuff, like answer questions properly, like in front of people, without having done street ministry, like back in the day, right? And so you always have to be ready to take something and just give a sermon. There was a time in my life where I was releasing doves at funerals as a side gig.
Working with Edgar?
No. This is back in the day. Pastor Dan put me in touch with a friend he had. This he still does this, and so they're homing pigeons. They fly back home, and you'd go to funerals. You'd give a little spiel about how the pigeons are going to go home because they know where their home is, and then we usually speak out of like John 14. It is a spiel, yeah. Like we speak out of John 14 and how like God, Jesus said, "I go to prepare a place for you," and these birds go
I never
home.
knew there was a message
and all that
behind
stuff.
it. I just thought you paid for it and they left, and you're like, okay.
No, like
That's
if
nice.
people, some people say we don't want anything, we just want the birds.
Oh, okay.
But Bro, I remember showing up to one of these funerals. I'm ready to give my John 14 kind of talk and stuff like that. And then the people come to me and they're like, hey, the pastor's not coming. We need someone to do the funeral. I did a funeral. Like on the fly. It's like, you got to be prepared, bro. When you're in ministry,
This man
anything
was
can
a good
happen.
man.
I was like, I pulled the daughter aside. I was like, tell me about him. I had like a quick 10, 15-minute conversation. Praise God, the guy was a believer. So that made just the whole thing easier to go about it. But it's like, you got to, scripture says you got to be, prepared in and out of season. Like, you just have to be. You take stories in. Just advice there. If you want to get really good at that and you're uncomfortable doing street ministry, do ministry with kids. Serve in the children's ministry at your church. It'll create that because kids will ask the like randomest questions.
Yeah,
And you got to be off the wall crazy questions. Do you guys know the situation about why am I forgetting her name? I did a review yesterday. I'm forgetting her name.
What are you talking about?
So Jerome says, we spoke about this before, but wonder what your friends think about Ali and her conversion. Maybe they don't know much about it. The atheist lady that just became a believer. She's like really, really big. She wrote a letter that she's a Christian now. It's like sparked. Can you write her full name, please, Jerome? Yeah, so she's a former Muslim Brotherhood Somali woman who became an atheist, traveled the world, did politics. Like, she was a big voice in the new atheist community, like with Richard Dawkins and all this stuff. And she recently became a Christian. And so she actually had a recent sit down with Richard Dawkins. Yeah, yes. And she had a recent sit down with Richard Dawkins, and he's like, you can't believe that, like, in the virgin birth and the resurrection and stuff. And she's like, no, I do believe that. And they're just like in shock. You guys know about like her story? You guys have an opinion on this?
No, I don't know anything about it. I know who she is, but not fully about the story at all.
Yeah, it's a big. She said in the interview or the conversation with Richard Dawkins, she said that she became suicidal. And she said, but I was too scared to take my own life. And she said, listen to this.
I'm listening.
She said that she went, like, she was self-medicating and all this stuff. And she said she went and saw a psychologist. And the psychologist told her, I think the problem you have is a spiritual problem. And that got her on the journey. That's insane.
Praise God.
Like, just picturing like getting into that kind of a dark place in your life.
Yeah, she's very popular. She's
Very
influential.
Yeah. And she was talking about like, she was like, man, I regret like telling and teaching people to like become atheists and stuff, because she was saying we've left people bankrupt. And Christianity doesn't do that. Nihilism does that to you, yeah. Okay. I think you guys are falling asleep. Okay.
No, we're awake. I'm trying to find this story I sent you guys, but I can't find it.
What's the story?
It was about what you were talking about. But Jerome, remind me to send this to you. It's very interesting. I'll send it to you later.
It's a story about what? Tell us the story.
It was a story of the priest talking about being ready in season and out of season. I sent it to you. It was a very interesting story pertaining to what you were talking about, but I'll send it later. I'll share it on Discord.
She said that her therapist said that she was spiritually bankrupt. Yeah. Yeah, I again, like someone like Russell Brand. So I don't know. I was talking actually when I took my son to a soccer camp, and one of the guys there was a South African guy that lives in England. He ended up being a believer. Like, we randomly talked about stuff, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm a believer." And we were talking, so Bear Grylls. You guys know Bear Grylls? Mm-hmm. Bear Grylls is the one that's like been ministering to Russell, And so Bear Grylls, because of this situation, like, like I've known that Bear Grylls was a Christian, but I guess like it became more of the public sort of thing. He got canceled in a bunch of places and organizations in England for like being an outspoken Christian, with like scouts organizations and all that stuff. And
It's funny, man. There's like an awakening happening within some of the celebrity culture right now, where I think we're winning, man. Honestly, I think there's a huge culture. There's a cultural shift towards Judeo-Christian values. I think that's happening, but I think there's also a lot of people just turning to Jesus and,
Yeah,
and coming to the faith.
I've always been of the mindset that if you if you allow for a bankrupt worldview to have its way, it can't go on for a very long time.
Exactly.
It's going to hit rock bottom. That's partly why I think communism fell. And I think in any society where you put that stuff into practice, the max life you're going to get out of that, unless something changes, is like 70 to 100 years. And then just like crashes.
Same things occurring with capitalism?
Well, no, I'm not saying that. It's not capitalism. It's the way that our capitalism is devoid of moral values that I think is doing that. But what I'm saying is the atheist people living this kind of like this atheistic, nihilistic, kind of pleasure-based life, even in a matter of 20, 30 years in their own lives. Because, like, look, it's fun when you're in your 20s, right? Like, you're in your 20s, you're doing all the stuff that you're doing, and then you kind of hit your 30s, and you're like, okay, like, I can't continue living like I can't be partying every single day and sleeping with whomever I want to, and then doing all these drugs and stuff. And then what we're realizing, at least with our generation, is these people are hitting their 40s and 50s, and they're having kids, and they're seeing the seriousness of life and the importance of legacy and the importance of like raising children. And something clicks in them where it's like, man, I got to reconsider and consider some of these things, like the way I've lived my life. I can't live like this. And then we're seeing them become Christians. And it's really good to see, because when you get elites in society becoming Christians, that has a huge impact. There's a book on the shelf somewhere, right there. It's called To Change the World by Hunter. That book is the opposite of like how Christians have thought about the way we impact culture. So generally, like in the 80s, 90s, 70s, this culture war kind of conversation, evangelical Christians in America were thinking like the way we're going to win the culture war is going to be from like a grassroots, like the populace. This guy argues in this book that that's completely wrong. That, as a matter of fact, he says that hasn't happened in history. The way that Christians have impacted culture has been by elites becoming Christians and then impacting culture. Business people, kings, queens, all that stuff. And I think there's a lot of truth in that. And I think, because think about it, like Russell Brand becomes a Christian and posts about it. Like, how many people does that impact than Arthur streaming to...
Yeah, but
15,
unfortunately,
20.
it has the opposite effect too, where someone of a high stature becomes or claims to believe in God and then starts spreading like completely false information.
Well, correct, but
I get what you're saying.
The ideology there is that people who are really well known have an impact on society, and so maybe the way we do missions and the way we think about stuff, and even missions within our own local context, is having a mindset of, man, like we should be approaching and sharing the gospel with influential people in our community, and then watching them, if they become Christians, watching them actually impact our communities for the better.
Yeah, I found my quote, by the way. Can I read
go
this?
for it.
You're falling asleep, huh? It says, there was once a church of England clergyman who was gloriously saved. When Jesus changed his life, he started preaching the gospel to his whole parish, and they all got saved. Then he started preaching in neighboring parishes, and the clergymen of those parishes were offended. They asked the bishop to make the man stop. When the bishop confronted him and said, "I hear you are always preaching, and you don't seem to be doing anything else," The changed man answered, "Well, Bishop, I only preach during 2 seasons of the year." The bishop said, "I'm glad to know that. What seasons are they?" He replied, "In season and out of season."
Amen. Preach it.
Yeah.
That's the
There
count.
we go.
That's my favorite season.
Yeah, that's good. It's interesting that you would even have a situation in which somebody gets saved and preaches the gospel, and it's the religious people that tell them to stop. Nothing's changed. This is partly why I think we would be the Pharisees. That kind of stuff. When John Wesley was preaching, his main opponents were Church of England folks. It was bishops who were criticizing him for preaching on the streets and saying, no, like you need to preach in a church. Like that's the proper place to preach. And he was like,
Some
none of the
pastors
people on the
today,
streets, none of the people on the streets are in your churches, my guy. Like,
some of the pastors today have that problem. I mean,
Yeah.
we know the whole Greg Lorne and the Calvary Chapel, movement, all kind of came from that. And they're like, who is this?
yeah, well, they were reaching a whole populace with the hippies that nobody else was, and very easily rejecting this whole population of people. So, okay, I'm not going to get into the conversation, the debate you guys are having in the chat. So I'll leave it there. It's 1 o'clock, guys.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Well, we pushed through after 12.
Well done.
Good job,
Great
guys.
marathon. Well done. Clap for
Well done,
yourselves.
good and-
2 hours,
well done,
11
good and
minutes.
Faithful apologists.
How many hours have you done?
2 hours and 12 minutes and 4 seconds, 5 seconds, 6
Let's
seconds.
just do an all-nighter.
Bro,
You gotta hold my head
you
up.
know what's going to happen? You know when Paul's preaching and that kid falls out of the window? David, we're going to be like talking, he just like goes,
If you guys want to preach this Sunday, go ahead and do all night.
I'm preaching this Sunday in tongues.
Yeah, in English tongue.
No, I'm preaching in Armenian.
Oh,
Well, hey, look, guys, you guys have been gracious and hung out with us, and some of you guys in different countries and states. It's 4 a.m. for some people. Give us another hour.
now they go to sleep, bro.
I know. Don't you have to go hiking tomorrow?
I
Yeah.
have to go hiking tomorrow.
Like he's gonna use us as an excuse not to go.
Ooh, that is nice.
And then he's gonna, yeah.
The family can go and I can just sleep in.
Oh
What
man.
do you do tomorrow morning? You want to go to Corner Cottage for some breakfast burritos?
I'm busy tomorrow morning, brother.
Wow.
What's up with swinging doors and corner cottages? Like,
Corner Cottage is great, actually.
Fire.
Very good.
Just got bought out.
Honestly, I might just go do that tomorrow morning instead of hiking. They have an amazing burrito.
were you gonna go hiking too?
I was thinking about it.
Yeah, I'm not.
What?
You guys
was
aren't.
actually-
Look,
No,
let
I
me
was
tell you
thinking
this.
about it, but after this long
Let
stream,
yeah, let me tell you this.
You got 3 little kids. You're
Let me
waking
tell
up
you
at
this.
6 a.m.
Tomorrow, the Euros are back because they've been on 2-day break, and tomorrow is single elimination. You lose, you're out.
Oh, no way.
There's games tomorrow.
So what were you? Hold on.
I do have stuff I'm doing.
Tommy and I
tomorrow.
have no clue what that meant for you. What did that mean?
Watching Euro
Nothing.
play.
I actually have. I'm probably not going to watch any of the games tomorrow because I have.
Well,
to.
why did you bring that up?
You can stay in and watch the Euros.
Interesting, brother.
Oh, you see how his brain works.
Yeah. It works weird.
Hey,
But
if you're in the area,
but here's the thing. It works.
What?
The brain.
we hope. If you're in the area, come check us out. Anchor Church Sunday at 10 a.m.
North Hollywood.
AnchorSoCal.com.
When are
Yeah,
you
I
going to be
sent
next
it.
on live? Saturday?
Monday.
Sunday? Monday?
This was great engagement. We had over 20 people
Yeah,
a lot
almost.
of the time. This
Yeah, it
was
was-
great.
yeah.
And keep on supporting art, man. I know it's hard, it's difficult, but you know what? Encourage
My
them.
wife shouldn't be the only one sending money here.
Well.
If I had a wife, she'd send money.
Oh, that was going.
What does that even mean?
It's like if I had a wife, she'd be sitting.
My wife is sleeping right now. She's in the third heaven, bro. Sleeping.
Oh man.
My wife is like snoring right now. No, she doesn't snore.
No Armenia in the Euros. Yeah, well, Armenia's group had Turkey and Croatia in it.
Yeah.
Croatia?
Yeah.
Ouch.
And Armenia did pretty well. Like they were like I think the Turkey games, both of them, they could have won it, and they kind of.
Are there any Armenians in the Euros?
They all go to their national teams.
No, but like France, '98 World Cup winning team had 2 Armenians on it.
Oh,
They also won the Euros. So, no, not that I know of. Sorry, I'm just like looking at the space, thinking,
Is that an earthquake? What was that sound?
what sound?
You didn't hear that? Oh man. it's
All I
late.
hear, you guys, is
Oh, he has. Yeah, that's right. He has headphones on.
Well, guys,
Dude, like a bomb could go off. and
Thank
it's
you.
like, hey.
thank you guys. This is my bomb shelter.
I'm still good to go. How to stay another hour?
I'm going, man. I'm going. Y'all stay. You
I'm
bunch
thinking
of-
about ending it, but these guys.
Okay, you can end it. I'm just.
No, hang
No,
on.
you guys hang out.
No,
Here.
it's late. No. I got stuff to do too. I got important things to do tomorrow.
I think
Say
Pisambi
it.
will be joining
Say
in
it.
15 minutes.
You gonna say something?
No.
You take the mic.
He gave it to me.
I
Oh.
was like, if you guys are staying another hour,
Oh,
I'm going.
you're like going.
We're definitely signing off.
He said it's fireworks. Oh man, you should have seen the fireworks and David's reaction to my
Our
neighbor.
shepherd was running away from us during the fireworks.
Brother, it's not Iraq, bro. Like, just all of a sudden, all these, like, bombs going off. Bombs over Baghdad.
You're supposed to protect us, brother. It's a firework and our shepherd runs off.
Jerome saying, remember to like the stream on your way out. Yes, chat. Thank you. Okay, guys. Good night to you, or good morning, or for Eddie, it's like 4 a.m. So
Take care,
Happy
guys.
4th of July, America.
America forever. Bunch of malarkey anywhere else.
That's malarkey.
see you guys.